On Earth, the year is 4896. The best thing to be said about that year on Earth is how easily 4896 rolls off the tongue. But our story isn't about Earth. Our story isn't even in the same galaxy as Earth. Not even close. Our story began on a ship, in the far reaches of space, in a cluster of galaxies that you have never heard of before. Somewhere in that cluster was a Class 2 starship, sailing out amongst the asteroids, all thick alloy plates and lightly crooked engines. Classes were something designated to ships to give people a quick understanding of what each ship is capable of, and often, how big it is. Class 1 can carry a few people, moves quickly, and doesn't pack a lot of firepower or cargo space. Class 2 is the standard for starfarers, able to run with 2 to 4 people, but able to carry a few dozen extra crew or passengers. It has space for cargo, ports for weapons, and is capable of jumping through space at faster than light speeds. Class 3 ships are typically known as heavies or barges. They're sluggish, not as fast as a Class 2, requiring a dozen crew members or more to operate, but can support hundreds of crew and passengers, as well as a remarkable amount of cargo. Still capable of FTL travel, Class 3 starships are most often used by corporations or extremely wealthy individuals. And then, there's Class 4, the largest type of starship to have been given a classification. It can hold Class 2 starships within its massive decks, requires hundreds of hands to operate, and can support thousands of passengers or crew. These hulking behemoths are incapable of FTL travel, but are not to be trifled with on the best of days, which is where the crew of our Class 2 ship, the Freya, first got into trouble. The faithful crew of the Freya were in the middle of transporting medical supplies, just a side job to keep the ship running until the next exploratory jump, when they answered a distress beacon. Once they arrived, they found a Class 4 starship that had landed in orbit around the nearby planet, putting off the beacon. The ship appeared lifeless, inactive, derelict, but when a survey kit was set up and the ship was scanned for more information, the Goliath of a vessel seemingly came to life, and immediately opened fire on the Freya, with no hails or attempt at communication. The Freya was forced to make a hasty retreat. Everyone on the crew had a part to play in this, so now is as good a time as any to meet the crew. The pilot of the Freya, Halifax Dewitt, an ace flyer who has kept the ship safe through thick and thin. Halifax is a Malleus, a race of humanoid creatures that are biologically capable of interstellar travel without the need for technology. Their skin is covered in thick black armor plating that grows naturally over them, and they have no mouths or noses, as they subsist off of light and heat for energy. They communicate through their neural masks, technological marvels that turn their brainwaves into sound, and, in some more expensive versions, images. If ever a Malleus is exposed to the freezing emptiness of space, they'll go into hibernation until intense heat wakes them up. Also, they slowly drain the light and heat from rooms they're in. Halifax isn't the only Malleus on the ship. The medic, always there to patch the crew up when they're inevitably injured, is Halcyon Hulsen, another Malleus. Sometimes, they find ways to communicate in their own sign language, something learned by most Malleus, but especially those not fortunate enough to have a neural mask of their own. Halcyon has spent life jumping from ship to ship, but has found a more permanent home aboard the Freya. The one trying to get answers, scanning the ship for all it was worth, was VaTze. Being paid a stipend to be on the Freya as a science officer, Ro is a Torvani who works for the Galactic Society, trying to find, study, and preserve the mysteries of space wherever possible. The Torvani are a race of semi-aquatic creatures with blue-white skin and large eyes on either side of their head. Survivors at their best, Torvani can hold their breath for an immensely long time, and they've never escaped the instincts that come from being at the bottom of the food chain on their home planet. When the ship was being torn to ribbons by their Class 4 foe, Talon was the one keeping it together. Talon, the ship's engineer, is a Calasti, one of the only dominant starfaring races that isn't bipedal. Rather, the Calasti are cats. Just cats, with some special skills that normal cats don't have, such as the ability to speak, and to manipulate gravity at a personal level, which allows them to not only traverse difficult spaces, but with training, operate machinery. As long as there's gravity about, artificial or otherwise, the Calasti are formidable, but in zero-G situations, they become nothing more than floating, talking cats. And finally, the captain of the ship, Phera Lark. Half human, half Lurin, the captain has a lot to prove and very little means of proving it. The Lurin people are starfarers by ancestry, with lavender skin and glowing eyes. And humans are scoundrels by reputation, only a part of the grand game of space travel through treachery and brutality. When the Freya was about to be hit by one of the devastating cannons of the Class 4, it was Lark who made the call to send the ship into a premature wild jump. A wild jump is dangerous no matter how you spin it, with the capacity to land you anywhere or cause damage to ship systems. Jumping to faster-than-light speed without the assurance of using safe jump lanes is always going to be a risk, and this was not an ideal time to do this. The ship was hit badly by their mysterious enemy, but managed to escape. The consequences of the wild jump, however, were dire. The hull was ruptured. One of the 4 crates of medical supplies the crew had been carrying were lost. Fuel was almost expended, and overall, the ship was in dire straits. The crew had no choice but to put the Freya down on the nearest planet, in spite of its apparent primitive nature, and hope to find a way to repair their vessel, or be stranded there for the foreseeable future. On the planet's surface, the crew got to work. And not just the crew mentioned so far. Phera had been traveling with some others, before signing on the various crewmates that travel with her now. Her second-in-command, Merrick Fuller, a human she had a long history with. Phera also has her own personal scientist, Hugo, a Kelsara. The Kelsara are a small race of bug-like humanoids. Hugo happens to look like a very colorful anthropomorphized grasshopper. To mind the ship's security, there's Gammon, a copper-skinned Radiant. Radiants have no gender, and their defining features are scars they put on their own body. Gammon has 4, going from the top of their head down each limb. And finally, VaTze, a creature of unknown origin who manifests as a cloud of plasma when he's not integrated with the shiptronics. Together, this crew began to explore the planet's surface, and quickly learned they were not alone. Strange markings on the trees revealed the presence of a creature that Ro had learned about through his time at the Galactic Society, a monster from a children's horror story known as the Pain Ra. The Pain Ra was thought to be nothing more than a nightmare, so no real facts about it were known, but the rumors ran wild in the minds of the crew. Some believed it could move through shadow, some believed it could smell fear, some believed that once it touched you it would know where you were at all times, some believed it was capable of interstellar travel without the need for a ship. Battling their own fears, the crew continued to explore the planet, finding a monolithic structure built from some variation of sandstone. As the more curious members of the crew began to excavate the partially buried structure, Halifax, the pilot, borrowed Talon's personal flyer and investigated a hail coming from another crashed ship that the sensors had picked up on the planet. The other ship belonged to a man named Briar Illick, who was there with his robot companion Telemachus. He claimed to be there hunting the Pain Ra, which had wiped out his entire home planet. Briar had wired his ship's cannon through his own rifle, a risky move that gave him a weapon with an intense amount of firepower. The Pain Ra and he had been playing cat and mouse for nearly a week, and he warned that he couldn't protect the crew of the Freya from the creature if he didn't know where the crew was. Meanwhile, Ro and the others dug out enough of the buried monolith to find a pictograph of what they assumed to be the Pain Ra, a massive creature with 3 eyes and an X-shaped mouth. They found a way to open the monolith, and within found a cluster of exotic matter in the form of a surprisingly light egg-shaped stone. While most were within the monolith carefully studying the stone, Talon, the engineer, remained hidden outside, or nearly hidden. The trees Talon was using to hide began falling, one by one, assumedly being taken out by the Pain Ra. From the distance, Briar took a shot and wounded the unseen creature, leaving a bit of amorphous black flesh pasted to the nearby tree, and seemingly scaring it off for the time being. The crew took the stone, and the bit of Pain Ra flesh, regrouped with Halifax, and they went... Oh no. On Earth, the year is 4896. The best thing to be said about that year, on Earth, is how easily 4896 rolls off the tongue. But our story isn't about Earth. Our story isn't even in the same galaxy as Earth. Not even close. Our story began on a ship, in the far reaches of space, in a cluster of galaxies that you have never heard of before. Somewhere, In that cluster was a Class 2 starship, sailing out amongst the asteroids, all thick alloy plates and lightly crooked engines. Classes were something designated to ships to give people a quick understanding of what each ship is capable of, and often, how big it is. Class 1 can carry a few people, moves quickly, and doesn't pack a lot of firepower or cargo space. Class 2 is the standard for starfarers, able to run with 2 to 4 people, but able to carry a few dozen extra crew or passengers. It has space for cargo, ports for weapons, and is capable of jumping through space at faster than light speeds. Class 3 ships are typically known as heavies or barges. They're sluggish, not as fast as a Class 2, requiring a dozen crew members or more to operate, but can support hundreds of crew and passengers, as well as a remarkable amount of cargo. Still capable of FTL travel, Class 3 starships are most often used by corporations or extremely wealthy individuals. And then, there's Class 4, the largest type of starship to have been given a classification. It can hold Class 2 starships within its massive decks, requires hundreds of hands to operate, and can support thousands of passengers or crew. These hulking behemoths are incapable of FTL travel, but are not to be trifled with on the best of days, which is where the crew of our Class 2 ship, the Freya, first got into trouble. The faithful crew of the Freya were in the middle of transporting medical supplies, just a side job to keep the ship running until the next exploratory jump, when they answered a distress beacon. Once they arrived, they found a Class 4 starship that had landed in orbit around the nearby planet, putting off the beacon. The ship appeared lifeless, inactive, derelict, but when a survey kit was set up and the ship was scanned for more information, the Goliath of a vessel seemingly came to life, and immediately opened fire on the Freya, with no hails or attempt at communication. The Freya was forced to make a hasty retreat. Everyone on the crew had a part to play in this, so now is as good a time as any to meet the crew. The pilot of the Freya, Halifax Dewitt, an ace flyer who has kept the ship safe through thick and thin. Halifax is a Malleus, a race of humanoid creatures that are biologically capable of interstellar travel without the need for technology. Their skin is covered in thick black armor plating that grows naturally over them, and they have no mouths or noses, as they subsist off of light and heat for energy. They communicate through their neural masks, technological marvels that turn their brainwaves into sound, and, in some more expensive versions, images. If ever a Malleus is exposed to the freezing emptiness of space, they'll go into hibernation until intense heat wakes them up. Also, they slowly drain the light and heat from rooms they're in. Halifax isn't the only Malleus on the ship. The medic, always there to patch the crew up when they're inevitably injured, is Halcyon Hulsen, another Malleus. Sometimes, they find ways to communicate in their own sign language, something learned by most Malleus, but especially those not fortunate enough to have a neural mask of their own. Halcyon has spent life jumping from ship to ship, but has found a more permanent home aboard the Freya. The one trying to get answers, scanning the ship for all it was worth, was VaTze. Being paid a stipend to be on the Freya as a science officer, is a Torvani who works for the Galactic Society, trying to find, study, and preserve the mysteries of space wherever possible. The Torvani are a race of semi-aquatic creatures with blue-white skin and large eyes on either side of their head. Survivors at their best, Torvani can hold their breath for an immensely long time, and they've never escaped the instincts that come from being at the bottom of the food chain on their home planet. When the ship was being torn to ribbons by their Class 4 foe, Talon was the one keeping it together. Talon, the ship's engineer, is a Calasti, one of the only dominant starfaring races that isn't bipedal. Rather, the Calasti are cats. Just cats, with some special skills that normal cats don't have, such as the ability to speak, and to manipulate gravity at a personal level, which allows them to not only traverse difficult spaces, but with training, operate machinery. As long as there's gravity about, artificial or otherwise, the Calasti are formidable, but in zero-G situations, they become nothing more than floating, talking cats. And finally, the captain of the ship, Phera Lark. Half human, half Lurin, the captain has a lot to prove and very little means of proving it. The Lurin people are starfarers by ancestry, with lavender skin and glowing eyes. And humans are scoundrels by reputation, only a part of the grand game of space travel through treachery and brutality. When the Freya was about to be hit by one of the devastating cannons of the Class 4, It was Lark who made the call to send the ship into a premature wild jump. A wild jump is dangerous no matter how you spin it, with the capacity to land you anywhere or cause damage to ship systems. Jumping to faster than light speed without the assurance of using safe jump lanes is always going to be a risk, and this was not an ideal time to do this. The ship was hit badly by their mysterious enemy, but managed to escape. The consequences of the wild jump, however, were dire. The hull was ruptured. One of the 4 crates of medical supplies the crew had been carrying were lost. Fuel was almost expended, and overall, the ship was in dire straits. The crew had no choice but to put the Freya down on the nearest planet, in spite of its apparent primitive nature, and hope to find a way to repair their vessel, or be stranded there for the foreseeable future. On the planet's surface, the crew got to work. And not just the crew mentioned so far. Phera had been traveling with some others, before signing on the various crewmates that travel with her now. Her second-in-command, Merrick Fuller, a human she had a long history with. Phera also has her own personal scientist, Hugo, a Kelsara. The Kelsara are a small race of bug-like humanoids. Hugo happens to look like a very colorful anthropomorphized grasshopper. To mind the ship's security, there's Gammon, a copper-skinned Radiant. Radiants have no gender, and their defining features are scars they put on their own body. Gammon has 4, going from the top of their head down each limb. And finally, VaTze, a creature of unknown origin who manifests as a cloud of plasma when he's not integrated with the shiptronics. Together, this crew began to explore the planet's surface, and quickly learned they were not alone. Strange markings on the trees revealed the presence of a creature that Ro had learned about through his time at the Galactic Society, a monster from a children's horror story known as the Pain Ra. The Pain Ra was thought to be nothing more than a nightmare, so no real facts about it were known, but the rumors ran wild in the minds of the crew. Some believed it could move through shadow, some believed it could smell fear, some believed that once it touched you, it would know where you were at all times, some believed it was capable of interstellar travel without the need for a ship. Battling their own fears, the crew continued to explore the planet, finding a monolithic structure built from some variation of sandstone. As the more curious members of the crew began to excavate the partially buried structure, Halifax, the pilot, borrowed Talon's personal flyer and investigated a hail coming from another crashed ship that the sensors had picked up on the planet. The other ship belonged to a man named Briar Illick, who was there with his robot companion Telemachus. He claimed to be there hunting the Pain Ra, which had wiped out his entire home planet. Briar had wired his ship's cannon through his own rifle, a risky move that gave him a weapon with an intense amount of firepower. The Pain Ra and he had been playing cat and mouse for nearly a week, and he warned that he couldn't protect the crew of the Freya from the creature if he didn't know where the crew was. Meanwhile, Ro and the others dug out enough of the buried monolith to find a pictograph of what they assumed to be the Pain Ra, a massive creature with 3 eyes and an X-shaped mouth. They found a way to open the monolith, and within found a cluster of exotic matter in the form of a surprisingly light egg-shaped stone. While most were within the monolith carefully studying the stone, Talon, the engineer, remained hidden outside, or nearly hidden. The trees Talon was using to hide began falling, one by one, assumedly being taken out by the Pain Ra. From the distance, Briar took a shot and wounded the unseen creature, leaving a bit of amorphous black flesh pasted to the nearby tree, and seemingly scaring it off for the time being. The crew took the stone, and the bit of Pain Ra flesh, regrouped with Halifax, and they went back to the ship as night threatened to fall. While making preparations for a possibly dangerous evening, Ro and Halcyon did some studies on the flesh and the stone, learning that the stone was some sort of naturally occurring beacon, able to be tracked from far away, and that the flesh was non-Newtonian and didn't like being sealed within anything. The flesh nearly escaped, but Halcyon and Ro managed to catch it in a plastic tub without a lid, where it would remain. Meanwhile, Talon was atop the ship, setting up a ring of lights to stave off the shadow, when the Pain Ra made its return. Earlier, the crew had noted its presence by the X-shaped marks it left on trees, which began to appear now all around them. In his haste, Talon tripped the power, and the ship was plunged into darkness. All hurried to the top of the ship with Talon, where the moonlit sky gave them some light to work with. The Pain Ra didn't attack, rather left 2 trees unmarked. Were the crew to walk between those two trees and follow in a straight line, they would arrive at another structure on this planet, as their scans revealed. And so, a unanimous decision was made. If the Pain-Ra had wanted them dead, it would have killed them by now. So they followed this seeming trail into the woods at night to discover what other secrets lie in wait. On the way, a concerned Briar Illick reached out to the crew. He had been using his motion sensors and noticed that Phera was leading the crew through the woods. He recognized what the crew said to be true, that the Pain-Ra didn't want them dead. But he fully suspected that the Pain-Ra would use them to help kill him. It was highly intelligent, after all. Not wishing for this, and with the crew unwilling to change course, Briar opened fire. The quick-acting crew managed to avoid injury and hurried to the temple-like structure they had reached in the woods, arriving safely, at least from Briar, in the halls within. The walls of the temple told, through a sort of hieroglyphics, a very different story than the one that kept children up at night. It told of a society of people and Pain-Ra, not just one, but many, living together in harmony. It showed their cooperation as they built these structures. It showed the Pain-Ra leaving the planet and returning with supplies for the civilization to flourish. It showed fewer and fewer Pain-Ra returning from these gatherings every time, until eventually none returned at all, and the civilization, in time, died out. Then finally, it showed one single Pain-Ra returning and giving the people of this world the only thing it still could: a burial. At the center of the tomb, the crew found just that. Hundreds of carefully buried bodies stored neatly in coffins that lined the walls of the tomb. And they finally came face to face with the Pain-Ra itself. A creature larger than a horse, shaped almost like a wolf, made entirely of that strange non-Newtonian substance that its bit of flesh had been as well. While the Pain-Ra was unable to speak with the crew, it could communicate, and did just that, answering yes or no to whatever questions the crew had, with a nod or shake of its head. After much deliberation, the crew decided to side with the Pain-Ra, a creature that seemed to be the last of its kind, rather than Briar, the alleged victim of its brutality. And so the crew went back to their ship to plan the fight with the other survivor on the planet. Some quick thinking allowed Phera to convince Briar not to shoot right away, as she convinced him that the crew had managed to kill the Pain-Ra, and they could meet to discuss what happened next. The crew split yet again, leaving Halcyon and the security officer Gammon on the ship, and with the rest following their captain to meet Briar Illick and finish this once and for all. Upon arrival, Briar had nothing but skepticism for what was going on, and was prepared for betrayal, especially since he had planned on scavenging the crew's ship and using it to escape, as he would hint at. But thanks to Talon's stealthy entrance, Talon was able to power down Briar's cannon-like rifle and give the crew an easier shot at defeating him. Briar revealed his hand, that Telemachus, his robot, was on board the Freya, and would tear it and anyone in it to pieces if he was not allowed to walk away. When this negotiation was unsatisfactory, a fight broke out at both ships. With some skilled gunmanship from Talon and a well-placed blow from Halifax's Star Sword, Briar was easily defeated. Back on the ship, Halcyon and Gammon had a harder time with Telemachus, who managed to vaporize a bone in Halcyon's shoulder before they destroyed the robot. With Briar neutralized, the Pain-Ra showed himself, as well as showing its own true power. The X marks it was leaving on the trees were indeed bites, revealed as the oddly shaped mouth of the beast tore Briar into 4 separate pieces. The crew finished with their business on the planet. Talon scavenged Briar's ship for parts and fuel to get the Freya spaceworthy again, and the truth of Briar's intent was discovered. The sob story about his home planet was fabricated. He was a bounty hunter, and he had been hired to bring the Pain-Ra flesh back to his unnamed employer. The employer was prepared to pay a fortune for each pound of flesh, of which Briar had already collected 13 of, which he was keeping in a highly powered prison crate where even it could not escape. The crew agreed to release the imprisoned flesh, and the Pain-Ra was able to easily absorb it, growing back to what can only be assumed to be its full size, nearly that of an elephant. Halifax found an out-of-use but completely serviceable personal flyer, which he took for later repairs and use, somewhere hidden amongst the hulls of Briar's old ship. Halcyon said his goodbyes to the Pain-Ra, and was given a very small piece of the strange void-like flesh, which now stays close to him at all times, seemingly acting of its own accord. Ro took the tracking beacon to bring to the Galactic Society. The crew then had to face one of the more dangerous things space has to offer: cramped quarters. Being stuck with one another for long periods of time with no way to put distance between each other. Before taking off, the captain and Halifax had a falling out, as Halifax charted a course that he believed would avoid a dangerous and mysterious enemy known as the Listeners, but the captain insisted that the chosen route was unsafe after all. Eventually, he chose another route, one that was harder and would take longer, but suited the captain's mysterious needs. Ro had his own misunderstanding with the captain. Wishing to navigate back to the Galactic Society to report his findings and further his scientific work, Ro felt concerned that the captain wasn't helping him get towards that goal. A discussion was promised for a later time. Halcyon received a mysterious message from an old friend that Ro questioned and learned of a potential way to secretly send messages from the ship. Talon repaired the body of Telemachus, so VaTze, the resident floating plasma cloud, could have his own electronic body to use in times of duress. And Phera did her best to act as captain, to check in with the crew and keep them all well and happy, with some moderate degree of success. The crew decided to finish the delivery of medical supplies, even though it wasn't a full shipment, to tie that loose end and be done with it forever, paying whatever price they'd have to pay. They didn't have enough fuel to make it in one go, however, so they decided to stop at Talania, a transitional planet new to the starfaring game, and crowded enough that they wouldn't draw much attention. Finally, while nearly at their next destination, the crew found that their ship had been approached, and realized that the Pain Ra had joined them on the voyage and was flying alongside of the Freya. However, as the Freya approached the planet, the Pain Ra quickly absconded to places unknown. And so we return to our crew in the moment, as the Freya approaches Talania. What new adventures await them there? Stick around and find out. Welcome back to Tales from an Infinite Verse.
Good evening, Starfarers. We are coming to you live from the Opal Sector, where the stars are bright and the asteroids are anomalous. The weather outside is a balmy negative 455 degrees, with a high chance of gamma ray bursts in the early to mid-afternoon. Let's lengthen the weekend together, everyone. Welcome to Tales from an Infinite Verse.
We made it! This is the wrong screen. go. We made it. First try. One day, probably years in the future, I will have that transition down to a science. But until then, I'm going to keep fumbling awkwardly around it, and I'm going to live in that.
No worries. Fair, it's like half part of it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad that my mistakes are why people come to watch this. All right. Well, everyone, welcome back to Tales from an Infinite Verse, episode 5, currently untitled, because I like saving the titles till afterwards. Thank you for joining us. So far, we're looking good. I am not looking at chat. I have been disallowed from ever looking at chat, ever. So my people are handling that. You may notice our pilot Halifax Dewitt is not with us. We have a convenient little logo, which thank you for Jake for putting that up for us. Elle is not here tonight because they are rehearsing for a show they're in. And I believe, Ethan, you know more about this?
It is called The Puffs, and it is a parody retelling of the story of Harry Potter, but from the Hufflepuff's point of view.
Phenomenal.
It is hilarious and tear-jerking at the same
So I believe we're going to be missing them 2 weeks from now as well, but we'll make sure we get you information on how to witness that if you would like to witness that with your eyes and ears.
Yes, it will be a streamed performance, so everyone here can watch it.
Rockin'. But for now, the rest of us are here, and we are ready to do some space exploration. Thank you for listening to the recap 1.5 times. And we should be good. I'm not going to do my usual recap because I think I've talked your ears off enough with that already. But a few little things before we start. We do have channel points if you missed that last time, or if you've saved up enough now to use them. You can name characters, you can get secrets about the story, you can give advantage to your favorite characters, and boy oh boy, I want you to milk that one because I am always terrified of killing characters. And otherwise, we should be good to get started. Yeah.
Really quick, I've gotten a note that says very low volume on Ethan.
Dang it.
Yeah, it's a little lower than everyone else, Ethan.
Did that do anything? I just realized I had the volume in my headset down. I'm not sure if that.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
What's it, Hank? Shauna and Dan, can you say a few things? I can maybe just turn the volume of all you guys up a little bit.
A few things.
A few things from Halcyon.
I'm just going to turn the desktop there. That might help. Okay, hopefully that helps a little bit. I just kind of bumped everyone's volume a little bit.
How does that sound?
I know it won't be any different for us. I just turned the volume up on the Streamlabs side, guys. So
I'm asking the stream.
Can you turn your mic a little bit down? Like, yeah.
Here?
Maybe,
How's
yeah.
that sound?
No,
Oh, that's a little better.
Seeing if
I think it's a
Okay.
little better.
Hopefully.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyways.
I'm gonna just put it right over here.
Oh.
Nope.
don't do that. Okay. We're gonna. Ooh. Oh, I need to turn off. So that's fine. I'll just when we get like bits and stuff. I appreciate them. I just need to start ignoring them because I need. I can probably just turn off the monitor for them. Let me do that really quick. Yep. Okay. Great. That is great. Okay, that should change it. So now I should not hear when we get cheered. Thank you for the bits, everyone. But I'm going to stop acknowledging them now. Okay. So, the very briefest of recaps, which is, since you already heard the rest of it, we are about to land on the planet Talania, a transitional world, and we will get into that in a second, but before we do, we need to cover advancement. Let's see how much experience we get. After we leveled up last time, we all picked some new advancement tracks, and Elle's not here, which means, sorry, that's one less opportunity for experience. But that's okay. You guys are going to be getting level ups so fast. You guys with the tracks you've picked. So let's go over what advanced.
Say that now.
Let's go over everyone's advancement track really quick. See where we're at. Dan, what do we got?
All right. Halcyon has chosen from the military background. A perilous order is obeyed.
Fantastic. I feel like we're a little late for that one, but I'm sure we'll find. I'm sure we'll find a new opportunity for it.
We're never going to have another perilous
Oh yeah,
order. Forget
never.
That.
What?
There will never be another perilous order.
But this was picked for last episode, right? We had these tracks going last episode. We didn't do experience from the Pain Raw wrap up, did we?
No.
That's true.
I don't think there were any perilous orders.
I don't think so either.
Nothing doing there. Sean, what did we get?
I'm getting it right over here.
Sorry.
So, from the academic side, a subject is thoroughly analyzed.
Fantastic.
Which is actually what I was trying to play into last time during our downtime.
Yes, that did happen.
Of just
you very intentionally thoroughly analyze subjects. So everyone, go ahead and get an experience. It's totally fine. Ethan, what did we get?
A new culture is experienced from I believe it's the Explorer back.
Just in time. So nothing from last time, but I'm sure we'll hit it this time. And Captain.
Bold act fails spectacular.
Oh, we'll get there. I'm confident that'll happen. Hey, that's one of those win-win advancement tracks. Because if it doesn't happen, then hey, we're in the money.
Yeah. Exactly. It'd be very out of character for me not to get that.
Terrific. All right.
It's like taking your umbrella out and it doesn't rain. You're like, well, I mean, hey.
So then we should be good. So we just marked the 1 experience for now. That's fine. And it didn't feel like a very experience-heavy session last time, so that's perfectly fine. I am going to bring my music back to the level I think it should be. And I'm going to start... All right. Chat, let me know if you can hear the music okay. We find our crew approaching the planet of Talania. You guys in the crew can't hear it, but there's some cool cyberpunk music playing in the background. It rules. So, on the planet of Talania, you can see the kind of place this is literally from outer space. When you approach Earth in all those like sci-fi movies, you see the greens and the blues and the everything. When you approach Talania, you see neon pink and electric blue. This planet is a living neon sign that wants to be seen from everywhere in space because it's so new to this. It wants space travelers to know, hey, we're cool. It's like the teenager of the planets. It's coming into adulthood and it doesn't understand what a good and a bad idea is yet. And it's the perfect place to hide out and not be fly under the radar because any large-scale higher powers have no idea this place exists and don't care about it. So you've just picked this one, and you are currently Halifax is currently guiding the ship into a very large starport. Even now, ships are taking off and setting down. You get an announcement over the comms. You hear that sort of just like, oh, why did the music just turn off? Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong window. Sorry.
Oops.
Your microphone also sound...
That was intentional because it's supposed to be over the star comms. So you hear this sort of Stardock 73, you are clear for docking. And you guys are ushered into a sort of Stardock. Your ship is put down. Halifax is much better at this when the ship is not falling apart at the seams. That said, the ship has also seen better days. Talon did a great job putting it back together, but it needs professional treatment. It needs, much like Halcyon needs professional treatment, the ship needs professional treatment as well. And so as we set down into the starport, as we set down into this place on Talania, we find a kind of bustling Stardock. We find tons of ships going around. We see mechanics hustling and bustling to various places. And we see a tall, sort of lanky mechanic approach your ship as you come down and to sort of wait patiently for the everything to come down. They're going to be in charge to kind of make sure you are all taken care of. You have not met anyone like this, or at least we haven't on the stream, because this person, they're probably about 6'6". They're very tall, but very skinny. They wear heavy looking sort of like shipyard stuff. My music game is crushing it right now. And I thank you guys for your patience as I figure it all out. He has almost marble-like skin. It goes from like gray to like albino white and like in swirly sort of patterns. And this sort of unique skin tone is unique to each individual of this race. This man is a Cyoxy. The Cyoxy effectively breed and grow their own bodies so they can kind of do whatever they want with them. They are part cybernetic, but almost all internally cybernetic. Externally, they appear organic, just frightfully unique like this one. The kind of heavy jumpsuit he wears is covered in various like buckles and pouches and bags and straps. He has a fanny pack on. And as you guys set down, you guys can take the world is yours, so to speak. You may do as you will. What plans you make and what you do is up to you. Obviously, you'll need to figure out talking to this man as part of standard operating procedure, but otherwise, the world is yours. What do you guys want to do?
I need to spend some time in an actual med bay, Captain.
Yes, I volunteer to take them.
No, you don't, Merrick says, clapping his arm around your shoulder, Roe. He goes, you, the captain, and I are going for drinks.
I was hoping that you had forgotten.
I have not forgotten about this. Nope, that's not how I roll. I don't forget about things like this. He looks to the captain. I don't forget about drinks.
Yeah. Who's the captain on this ship?
Hey, technically your orders are your orders. And if you would like to order me around on shore leave to not have drinks with the captain and science officers so we can work out any details, so be it. Then I'll go for drinks by myself. But
how long do we have to stay on this planet?
we should. That's something you'll have to talk to your Stardock friend about and figure out exactly how long it's going to take to fully repair, refuel, and refurbish the ship.
Halone, I don't particularly trust these guys. Do you think maybe you could take the lead?
I will watch them like a hawk.
Thank you.
All right. So we have and Halifax says, I don't know if I can do the exact voice, but I will try my best. We'll do this one and see how it goes. Halifax is going to say, permission to move freely, Captain?
Yes, of course.
I have some work I want to get done on this flyer, and I'm going to go investigate things the way I do. I'll be back. Well, you know how to reach me.
Mm-hmm.
Halifax seems a little bit short and a little bit eager to get moving. And as soon as you give permission and the kind of ramp lowers to get up to your ship, Halifax takes the flyer and sort of, it's set to this like kind of on like a little like cart that can hover a little bit, but not actually move well, and kind of pulls this and this straight down. And the guy at the bottom of the ramp goes, "Oh, hey, okay, well, all right, enjoy your stay on Talania. Hello." The tall marble-skinned man kind of waves up to the rest of you.
What's your name?
Oh, well, people just call me Pockets. I'm in charge of this. I'm the head engineer on the wing of the ship. I got called over. Apparently the cam saw your ship coming in. Registered you guys being beat up even from a distance. So I figured it was worth me coming over to check you guys out. Are you here looking for repairs?
Yes. Sorry, Captain, but and Hal just kind of like puts his arm forward and is like, I also need repairs.
Oh, so you do.
Where's the nearest med bay?
Med bay. Ooh. Sorry, that's a we have like hospitals and stuff here. Well, what happened? I mean,
aren't you an engineer?
Oh, no.
Why are you asking?
Well, if it depends what you need. You guys are doing crazy stuff. It looks like your ship has seen. It looks like two ships. It looks like a Frankenstein ship, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Okay.
And the reason I ask is because if you've got a bone fractured, I'm sure one of our hospitals could take care of you. If you've got a crazy space injury, well, maybe requires a different sort of help. You know. There's nanobots out there. Nanobots can just like graze through flesh. I don't know what your problem is.
It was not nanobots.
Okay.
It's not nanobots. Captain, are you comfortable with me telling?
Oh, please. Anything to get his answers as short as
Oh,
possible.
got it covered. He kind of proceeds a little bit, realizing his presence is not super welcome.
No, it's not you. It's us. We've had a very long journey these past few whatevers. I got kind of slightly vaporized by a plasma bolt.
Oh.
I've stabilized it, but I need actual treatment.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I can direct you towards the nearest sort of hospital area. There's one not too far from here, and he goes into one of his many pockets and pulls out a little kind of tablet, and he pulls it up and he goes, "If you just a quick data transfer, I can give you directions to it."
Just give me verbal ones.
Okay.
I'm a medic myself.
You'll want
I can sniff out hospitals.
Sure thing. You'll want to head down into the main thoroughfare. Once you get out of the Stardock, you can't miss it. It's bright as a beacon from space. You want to head there. Very loud, very crowded, but if you kind of keep going past all the hustle and bustle, there's a 7-story building more on the left. You'll see it. Nice big, it's got like a little like blue neon X thing, and that's going to be your hospital right there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Captain?
Take
Talon?
Gammon with you.
Yes!
If you don't
Gammon
mind.
jumps kind of excitedly.
Okay.
Hospitals.
Yeah.
I'm only saying this
Send them
because
to
Gammon, you should be checked out.
What? I'm fine.
Well, just in case. You were in that firefight as well.
I'll appreciate the company, Gammon.
Yes! Goes off. Goes off with Halcyon.
Talon, Ro, I'll hopefully see you soon. Take care. And Hal will amble down the ramp with Gammon and head.
Okay. So both Hals have left the ship. And
Pockets?
yeah,
Is it?
that's me. It's not my birth name, but it's easier.
I would hope not. This is Talone. He is our chief engineer.
Hey!
Talone is your boss when it comes to the ship. Do not touch anything. Do not work on anything. Do not tweak anything without his express permission.
Sure. Yeah. No. Of course. I want to pay the utmost respect to your ship, Captain. I don't want to step anywhere I'm not due, and I don't want to break anything more than it already is. I would like to help in the best way I can. So.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Got it. All right.
I shall walk up to Pockets and present him with a list.
Okay. He takes it. He's clearly used to, in spite of the fact that this is newer, clearly used to dealing with Calasti. He is not perturbed by it all by the fact that you're a cat. What's up, Halcyon?
Sorry, I just wanted to let you know that Ash Rider has decided to give Talon advantage.
Fantastic. That's great news. Okay. And meanwhile, Merrick is going to go, Pockets, my guy. Where can I get a drink? And Pockets goes, well, the most popular place, there's a place called, hang on, I need to check my own notes. It's a place called the Chromatic Geode. Incredible place, run by Trexie. Trexie will take good care of you. Tell her Pockets says hi, by the way. And he goes, I most certainly will. Captain, he looks to you. Are we doing this? If not, I'm doing this. It's a matter of if we're doing this.
Ro. One drink?
Ro just shrugs and just says, I think that it actually would be for the best, despite the fact that I'm not looking forward to it.
Wonderful.
Likewise.
You guys are too dramatic, he says as he walks off. It's going to be great. We're going to have a good time. And he's going to head off as well. Let me actually start with this crew for a little bit. Let me start with the captain and Ro and Merrick. Vexius is going to remain on board the ship. Vexius and Hugo both actually have no desire to leave the ship whatsoever. So they're going to stay and sort of help out with whatever Talon may need. Unless you have other orders, Captain.
Oh, no. At this point, just as soon as we can leave. That'd be nice.
Okay. Actually, right before you walk away, Pocket's going to say, by the way, Talon and I are going to discuss any repair fees or anything like that needed. Standard refuel, restock fee for basic supplies. We kind of cover a couple days. If you need more supplies than just a general like local system jump, you'll probably actually want to talk to Trexie. She'll take care of you in that respect too. But otherwise, it's just one cred for both. Who's paying?
That would be me.
All right. You can do that now, or you can do that on your way out.
I'll give him 2.
I'll take very good care of your ship, Captain. And
yes, you will.
Yes, I will. Cool. I'm going to.
You bet.
Great. I love that. Okay. Phera, you just got gifted an advantage as well.
Perfect.
So that's phenomenal. We gotta.
That'll
This
help.
is. I get the feeling I should up the price on advantage because it's gonna be flying around a lot. So
You can always make it once a session, by the way.
I think I am gonna do that. I don't think. I'm going to use D&D rules here where a character can't have more than one advantage at once. So guys, don't like lay on an advantage thick on any one person. They can't stack it.
No double advantage.
No double advantages.
As much as I could use it.
So, Phera, Ro, and Merrick, you guys leave the bustling Stardock and make your way down onto Talania proper. This place is huge. This is not anyone's particular scene, which is kind of the point, because again, you are not going to be on anyone's radar while you are here. But there are just huge bustling streets. There's like bridges and like multiple layers to the city. There's hover vehicles kind of going around. It's very Coruscant-y in some ways. Everything's very tall. Everything's very stacked. Especially near here, you can tell the main area you're in is where the majority of the building is happening. So it's kind of going up and then spiraling out like sand sort of running off of a hill as the world gets bigger and bigger with more and more people coming through. Predominantly, Ellorah world. This is not uncommon. Most worlds that are colonized before space travel time are colonized by the Ellorans. So it's, I would say, 80% Ellorah, and other races are sort of smattered in as space travel became a more common thing. You guys are the least like obnoxiously dressed and obnoxiously looking people around. There's literally a mech suit walking through the street at some point. You see a couple of other like Kalasti. There's hover cars or like vendor, like people like shouting at the window like, oh, come get your come get your cybernetics here. And this like absolutely crazy bustling streets going through this place. And you can spot the chromatic geode, the place you were told about, from a literal mile away. It is a castle of a place. For a place that is apparently like a place to get a drink, the chromatic geode, which has a giant neon sign labeling for what it is, might as well be a castle. It looks like a Vegas casino on steroids. This place is immense, with just kind of neon lights kind of bubbling up and over it and going in all directions. And you begin to make your way there. Do you have anything? Are you just going straight there? You have any business you want to do on the planet? Talk to him.
Ro is absolutely shell-shocked. Like, this is too loud, too busy, too new, too temporary, he finds. Like, this feels very artificial, very plastic, and doesn't have any weight to it, so to speak. And it is just 1,000,001 distractions is basically the thing. And he's just walking there with his hands to his temple. Actually, no, I can't really do that because it's all official.
Right here.
I guess here, like just here. Bridge of the nose of just like, okay, just try to focus on one thing. Try not to get overwhelmed, because right now he wants to go back into the ship, maybe crawl into one of the crawl spaces, one of the Jeffrey's tubes somewhere, and just sleep there for a while.
Which is perfect, because if they were on speaking terms right now, they could commiserate about how much they didn't want to be on this planet.
Yeah.
But that's the same kind of attitude that Phera's got as well.
Merrick is keeping a low profile. In spite of his chipper attitude, he is very much playing peacemaker right now, so he's sort of laser focused on getting you guys to the chromatic geode. And as you arrive there, you are greeted at the outside by an immense bouncer. He is human, kind of dark skin, but he is also a cyborg. He has enough cybernetics that I would classify him as that. He's at least part robot. He's got a very clear like eye augmentation with like a sort of red glow, so you can see as he approaches. A lot of his there's like scars, but instead of just regular scars, you can see like they've been woven back together with some sort of like mechanical tech, which also looks like it enforces it to give him these kind of almost like straps of plating that sort of protect him. At his back, there is what appears to be the makings of an old-timey like claymore, like a sword, but with some sort of like tech involved in it. So if you needed to draw that, it would like light up in some way. And there's a very clear, like incredibly heavy single firearm at his hip as well. So this big burly guy, as you approach, just goes, kind of looks over and goes, "Where are you from?"
Not here, clearly.
What's your business in the geode?
To have a drink.
It kind of looks you up and down. And he goes, "You're not going to cause any trouble, are you?"
Nope.
Where do you stand with United Multiverse?
Honestly, I don't get involved in politics.
Go on in. That's you inside. The three of you head into this place, and you find it surprisingly a little chiller than the outside would have you believe. The outside streets are insane, but in spite of the immense sign drawing everyone to the chromatic geode, it's actually pretty relaxed in here. The vibe is chill. There's definitely some music playing. There's some people dancing. There's a nice big dance floor. There's various bars. There's like a hover bar where you have to like ride on these platforms to like float up to it to get drinks. There's various tables sort of around the place. You see what appears to be there's a couple of different servers, but sometimes the trays just move on their own. Where you see a tray zooming across the room of its own accord for some reason. It's a pretty. Just sort of like, it's a pretty cool place, all things considered. Merrick scouts at an open table and starts kind of lead you guys over there. He hops up. The table is hovering about 3 feet off the ground. There's a little staircase that leads up to it, and he sits down on one of the hover chairs and kind of just looks around trying to wave down some sort of service, but he's going to work on that.
Well, I hate this, and I'm going to sit facing the door.
He says, "Captain, of all the CD joints we've been to, this is probably one, like, relish in the fact that there's not about to be some sort of, like, I'm not about to try and, like, scam someone out of a ship or anything. Like, it's not that kind of a place. This is the kind of place you come to actually have a good time."
Okay.
Rose sits, but is like completely is more looking around at, I guess, what other people do in situations like this.
Sure.
Like, how are people behaving here so that I know what people do in a place like this?
There's can you actually I don't need to roll for this. I roll too much. There's a few different breed of people here. There's the kind that are clearly just here to have a good time, and they are drinking and they are dancing. There is a very open dance floor where they are just absolutely living their dreams. All of the movements they're doing look alien to you, Ro. You have no idea what any of that means.
So no,
cross that one off the list. There are people who are like here on some sort of just to chill, like more closer akin to what you're doing. People who are having drinks, sitting around tables, sitting at bars, talking loudly over the music. But for the most part are fairly relaxed. And the only other kind of breed of person that you notice, so to speak, is there is sort of a, like, what appears to be a VIP looking area, which is an area, it's like kind of laser roped off, and with another sort of bouncer in the front, who appears to be just kind of another human person sort of chilling in front. And in that area, they seem like, you don't know what they're doing, but it looks chill. Like, there's no, like, partying there. No one's dancing. There's couches in that area. There's actually a Torvani there. In that area, there is a man in like a lavish coat. Torvani, like you, got the eyes on both sides of the head and everything. Chilling on this very comfortable looking couch, having a very calm conversation with a Ellorah woman who's there with him. Very chill. He's got a bunch of different like rings and stuff. You don't know what you have to do to get into that area, but it looks like the least bothersome area in the entire place.
I don't think we could afford that area.
Okay, but yeah, so for the most part, ordering some food and drink seems to be a pretty safe bet.
So I'll actually let Merrick handle that, because he probably knows whatever won't poison us. Hopefully.
And speaking of which, on that note, you are going to hear a voice coming down from below you. Now you're at a hover table, but this voice is actually even farther below you for a moment. It goes, "Welcome to the chromatic geode. Please let me know what you might want." And hopping up on the table is a Calasti. A gray-furred Calasti, one of the little cat people, who has a tray hovering right next to him with his little gravity powers. And you notice, oh, that's what these zooming trays were. These are Calasti servers. who are taking care of people. And this little Calasti server is perfect. Like unlike Talon, who has all this like fancy deck and kit, this Calasti server is completely just like full on regular cat form, except for a vest and a bow tie.
Of course.
And Merrick's gonna say, just sort of do like a small form payment, and just be like, we'll have a couple of whatever's good. I trust we're new here. I trust your judgment. And he goes, very well. I will go fetch you something, and zooms away. And Merrick is gonna turn to the two of you and go, all right, let's talk business. But before we do that, I would like to cut away. Sorry, I know I'm doing like a lot of narrating as I set up this world, but
No, that's really okay.
It's fine.
let me go to Halcyon.
It's called
World building, yay! Halcyon, you are making your way towards that hospital. You are accosted on all sides as you approach, moving through the thoroughfare of people who are offering all sorts of goods and wares. There's even a couple who shout out like, "Ooh, hey, like we've got you looking for like cybernetics?" Like they see when it's moving on, be like, "Hey, you need a new arm? I know where you can get a new arm."
Halcyon, I don't know about Gammon, but Halcyon is very much like, almost like how we would walk in like New York City. And just,
Yeah. Gammon, Gammon is the excited
eyes
puppy that you
forward,
need to
just
wrangle in,
ignoring
because
everybody.
as much as they are there to make sure you're protected, they're like, dude, hey, that guy said he could give you an arm. Do you want to talk to him? He might know more.
Nope, we're not here for that.
All
Gammon.
right.
Just
You
keep going.
You make it up towards this hospital, and it is packed. It is this, unlike the Chromatic Geode, it is almost busier than the streets outside. This appears to be one of the more advanced hospitals on the place, and going in, you can see the various staff here have a white and blue sort of getup. They have like double-breasted, like kind of lab-looking things with like blue trim around them, and you are approached by a Lauren woman, these bright gold eyes, kind of silvery hair, and comes over and goes, "Hi, is this an emergency? Or are you here for regular checkup?"
And Hal will just like look down at his arm and look back at her. I'd say it's an emergency.
There's actual emergencies where people are going to die within usually an hour counts as an emergency. You seem to at least be stable, unless there's some sort of illness or disease I'm not seeing.
Hal just undoes the sling and just like displays the like fucked upness of his arm. It's stable for now. But
can you go ahead and give me a roll plus influence? You have it. Okay. You have advantage if you would like to spend it.
I saw. Wait, you said influence. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna go ahead and burn it now because that's my -1. Fantastic.
Let's see how we do.
Boy, am I glad that I did. That's an 8.
Okay, so it's a mixed success. She is going to see that and sort of recoil a little bit. She's seen a lot in her time, and this does not look like one of those things that she's seen a lot of. And she goes, "Well, I don't know what hack doctor you got to do that for you, but I'm sure our surgeons can fix you up much better than that." That said, there is still something of a wait list, even for emergencies, and since this is stable for now, we'll need to put you on that list. I can do that for you, and I can get you on the list. Healthcare here is, of course, free to anyone passing through, as long as you don't mind waiting. I believe for a surgeon who could take care of something like that, it's probably going to take you a few days to wait, though.
Hal is immediately going to say, "One moment, don't just stay right there."
Okay.
And Hal's going to immediately turn around and get on the comm and say, "Hey, Captain."
Yes.
So it's going to be a few days before they can get a surgeon out for me.
I'm sorry, you said a few days?
Yep, because it's stable, quote unquote.
I'm gonna lean over to Merrick. How long are days here?
Merrick is going to just do a check like on his like whatever device you have that can get the signals from everything and go, pretty standard, about 20 hours. 20-hour day-night cycle.
What's a few? Is it like, are you looking at 2 to 3, or are we looking at 3 to 5, or a week?
Hal turns around and says, sorry, miss.
There is
by
the time you turn around, she is gone. There's a completely different person there for you. She has walked away to tend to the next person. And this other Lauren man, who's kind of a big, portly Lauren fellow, goes, hi, yeah, sorry. If you're looking for a surgery, yeah, I can put you on the wait list if you like. Are you in any sort of rush?
Hal still hasn't like done up their sling again, and just like turns around and shows him. He's like, yes, I was just talking to somebody about this.
Honey,
they said it would be a few days.
Honey, I am so sorry. Well,
it hurts.
No, it looks like it does. He leans in a little bit closer actually and says, there's not really a way to rush that wait list, and it might be a couple days, but I do know someone, a surgeon who used to work here, who sort of decided to do her own thing. And if you don't mind paying a little bit of extra, she could probably take good care of you real quick.
1 second, I'm on the phone. I'm on comms with my captain, and Hal is not going to turn around this time.
You take your time.
It's going to face him.
He turns to go, and Gavin grabs his arm, goes, just what? Give us a second.
Thank you, Gammon. So, Captain, 2 to 3 days, or there's a bit of a chop shop that I could go to, but off the books.
She's very good. He kind of leans in and says,
You're the doctor. I trust you to determine what constitutes as a chop shop. If you think it's going to get us out faster, but still legit, then go for it. Otherwise, we'll figure it out.
Okay, I'll keep you in the loop, Captain. And thank you for sending Gammon along with me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, talk to you later, Cap. Point me in the direction of your friend, please.
Sure thing. And he's going to actually like step outside with you and point to like another building. It's a high rise, like one of the big boys. Go and just say, 34th floor. You're looking for unit 104. And you're looking for hang on, sorry. You're looking for Dr. Sarraza.
Dr. Sarraza on 104. Okay.
Good luck, honey. And heads off to help the next patient. You turn and you go. You see as you're like on your way out, there is another kind of Lauren man who is being helped by his friend, who is literally seeming like holding his guts in from like some sort of searing wound, and they're like rushing him off to something. There's a whole bunch of shenanigans going on this planet, and you start to head over to Dr. Sarraza. And let's now check on our mechanic, shall we?
Yes.
All right, Talon, you are left as the rest of the crew heads off with Pockets, who looks and goes, all right, you're the boss. Care to show me around the place, and we'll see what we can figure out?
Yes, as you can see, I had to do a bit of spotty hull work here. We had a couple breaches, if you know what I mean.
It's a simple word. I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
On top of that, there was a destabilization in the hypersensitive neogenic drive shaft that I have to take care of.
Sure. You walk him through, and he goes through it and kind of makes a list, and he goes, I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot here. And therefore, you guys aren't looking to spend a lot of time Planetside, right?
No, the less time, the best.
We can do a rush job. With your help, I can knock off some credits if you're lending a hand. I wouldn't really trust a lot of my people with this. But typically a job like this would cost, if you're looking to get it done overnight, it would cost 4 cred. Now, we can knock some cost off. I can knock a cred off that if you're helping me, and I might be able to knock another cred off of that if you seem to know your stuff, and you've clearly been in the game for a little bit longer than, well, most of my hands here at the dock. If you don't mind giving me a hand with something, there's another ship that we've been having some trouble figuring out what's wrong with it. I could knock off a cred or two if you maybe help me figure out what's going on with that. I could use your expertise.
Of course, anything to help a fellow engineer.
Sure. Can you also roll an influence roll for me, Talon? I meant to do this before he said that, but I forgot, so here we are.
And that is also my negative, so I shall also...
You guys are all so good. Go ahead, burn your advantage.
That is an 8.
An 8 as well. Okay, let me see what just one moment. He says, okay, he's going to say...
Oh, wait, no, it's a 9. Well, it's
still
9.
next.
Still, it doesn't matter.
So he's going to say,
it's not my negative, it's my 0.
I have a good feeling about you, but I would want to, like, be absolutely sure before I accepted any sort of help. So what I'll say is I'm going to need... If you do 2 cred up front, I can do this with a rush job working with you. And then as long as things go well on the ship I need help with, then I can maybe refund you a cred and make it down to 1.
Well, if I recall correctly, the captain did give you 2 cred up front.
You know, the captain did throw me an extra credit, but one of those is typical fees and expenses, so I'm going to need an extra one. We're talking about some pretty large-scale repairs on a Class 2 starship.
Fair enough. And Josh, refresh my memory. Do I have credit?
I believe everyone in the game started with 3 cred.
Started with
yeah,
3
so
cred?
you do have some money.
I will throw 1 cred of my own in there.
Fantastic. You spend a cred, and he goes, "All right, let's get started." And you get to work on your ship. I will let you now make another patch-up roll now that you have the appropriate kind of gear and everything you need for this to just sort of put this thing back together quickly with the help of pockets.
Do I get advantage because of pockets?
Yeah, this is actually, you do have help, and you are in a very ideal. This is the ideal place for this. This is barely a challenge. This is more to see how long it's going to take. But so go ahead.
Ooh-wee, that's 2 5s.
Fantastic, and you've got a plus 2.
12.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's going to be like half a day's work, but with his tech, he's got plenty of like machines to work with. He has like a mini like sort of exosuit which he can use to like do some of the heavy lifting, and you guys can do some patchwork. It's not super pretty, but it is everything it needs to be, and you get the ship back to full functioning. But that is going to take some time, so let me now start this loop over again. No, I want to keep going here a little bit longer. I'm going to skip forward a little bit. So you do some patchwork, and he's watching you work, and he goes, "I tell you, you've really got this whole thing figured out. I can't even imagine moving gravity around. You Calasti are really impressive." So
yes, we are.
I would love to. I'm going to go talk to Captain Nelda. She's captain over at the Ditzy Himbo, and that's the ship that we need help with. I'm just going to get her okay, and once we get the all clear, I'll just follow. I'll give you a sign, and I'll flag you down, and you can come on over and see if we can help out with what's going on here. And he's going to head over. You see as he talks to another Lauren woman who's kind of waiting outside of a Class 2, not dissimilar to yours. That's a bit of a ways off. He kind of talks to her briefly, points over, and then after that conversation, you see kind of gives you the wave for you to come over and help out the captain. And that's where we're going to restart the loop. I just wanted to get everyone started on a little something.
Okay, sounds good.
So back...
The Ditzy Himbo.
And that wasn't even one of the name generator things. That was just me. All right, so back at the bar, you've just communicated with Halcyon, and you are brought some drinks and some food. The food is trying. It's like the sushi of this world. It's trying really hard to be art, as well as just food. There are these little like kind of like puff pastry looking things in like card castle shape that are like stacked on top of each other. So if you take one out, it's sort of it's gonna like fall and like make just a pile on the plate. It's a big plate. It's clearly meant as a shareable platter. There's several different dips of several different colors, none of which you can identify. And each of you are brought a drink, which is kind of in a little like flute glass. With what appears to be this pink sugar around the lip of it, and this sort of like bluish tint, a clear blue liquid on the inside. Merrick goes, "Fantastic." And he takes his and takes a sip without hesitating. Whew. All right. So, let's talk.
Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. Is this, like, I'm gonna look around. Is anybody else drinking this drink?
Yeah. Yes, there's definitely a couple other people with this drink. This is not an...
It's like the Coors Light of, like, this establishment.
Yeah, in spite of how fancy it might look to Earth dwellers like us, to this place, it's not terribly uncommon.
Okay.
Sniff.
It smells a little fruity.
Finger.
It's surprisingly, Ro, not unpleasant. It's not. I don't know how you usually feel about alcohol, but as alcohol goes, it's not super strong. It is meant for flavor. There's definitely flavor trying to mask. It's more like a margarita than anything else, honestly, in flavor.
All right. So, kind of sip very gingerly at it, and like, you know, just it's what's the word I'm looking for? Perfunctory. You know, just like, I have taken a sip. There.
Much more interesting than the taste of the liquid. Actually, is the rim of the liquid. Whatever that is not sugar. It doesn't have much flavor to it at all, but it does kick. It's almost like Pop Roxy when you go for it, like whoop. You kind of feel your tongue like tingle a little bit at it. You don't know what it is, but it's something.
Yeah, just interrupt myself with a. So, no, okay. Lay the cup back down. So, Captain, when we originally started this arrangement between us, I believe that we were coming at it from different perspectives, and now that we have shed sweat and blood together, I assume that we should hammer out a little bit of a more solid deal between us. You see, I have responsibilities, and I also have a certain academic duty to report regularly back to the Academy. The Academy has listening posts and, you know, outposts and that kind of things, and schools almost everywhere in society. Not here. This is a little bit too lowbrow, but in any normal civilization, I would at least be able to meet up with someone from the Academy and transfer my findings. Very important stuff. You, on the other hand, seem to be on a certain course which I feel is not being conveyed to the rest of us.
How do you mean?
The just going over star charts and stuff like that on my own time, I found that this path that we're choosing seems okay, I'm not going to say a little. It is very circuitous. Is there something that you're not telling us?
Yes.
Good start, Merrick says. He pulls one of the little triangle things, and the entire pile collapses onto the plate. Pops it in his mouth.
Real mature.
Someone had to be.
Yes.
Someone had to be the first.
Okay. Well, why don't you taste one of those and make sure they're edible?
They're edible.
He says, like, spraying crumbs.
It's not bad. It's street food. It's fine.
So, Ro will give Phera a look of, like, we might have disagreements, but at least we both agree about him.
Absolutely. I give you the exact same look.
Like, just share, like, like, just nod, like, yeah. So, perhaps you would like to go, I don't know, find a dance partner, Merrick, and the captain and I can keep talking about this very boring stuff. I'm sure that you are not quite interested in this kind of
Merrick looks over to you. Phera?
You do what you want. This is downtime as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, here's the thing. Merrick pops in alone. You're really good. I'll leave you two to this. But when I come back, we need to have some sort of understanding. And I'm happy to keep negotiating, or I'm happy to leave you two to it. Because as far as I'm concerned, and this is permission to speak, if at risk of sounding too much like Halifax, permission to speak freely,
Mm-hmm.
Ro, I think you make a great addition to the crew, and we'd love to keep you around. And Captain, I think we need to do whatever it's going to take to do that without going too far out of our way. So I think some sort of middle ground is going to need to be met here. And if you're having trouble meeting that middle ground, just give me a sign, all right?
Is there a hidden meaning behind, like, knowing what he knows? Is there kind of like do I pick up on any hidden meaning behind that?
I don't think so. I think he's playing the peacemaker here. He's trying really hard to make sure that everyone's happy. But beyond that, no. He's not like, he doesn't know about some sort of dark secret that Ro has.
Well, I'm talking about our time spent together.
No.
Okay.
All right. You two have fun.
I'm handing him my drink. Take this too.
He looks at it,
Please.
looks back at you, downs yours, and takes his out onto the floor.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Honestly, Captain, if you want me on board, like Merrick says, I don't know if you do or not. If you do want me on board, I would be happy to do so. This was supposed to be a temporary measure, but given what we've been through, I think that there is great potential with this team. And I hope that I can provide something as well. That said, with that comes a few more responsibilities. It's part and parcel of getting this is just one extension of a very large and very ancient and very stodgy organization that is musty at best, let's say. It is a very old and distinguished college of interstellar exploration. And I have to respect it. It is my alma mater. It is my they are my people, if you know what I mean. More than species. The Galactic Society is who I am. If you want me, I am willing to sign on.
I think that you and I are very similar. Where you appreciate and have a penchant for the people of planets and the things you can find there and the artifacts you can conjure and discoveries you can make within atmospheres. I feel the same way about the stars. I don't like being here. I didn't like being back with the Pain Raw. I don't like when gravity dictates how high I can jump. Yes, absolutely. I do appreciate you not calling us dirt suckers or any of the other normal terms for us planet-bound. That's not fair. I've heard them all. I think that I think I appreciate you as a part of our team more than I convey to you, and for that I apologize. I'm very reluctant to tell you why we're on the course we're on, because truth be told, the less you know, the safer you are.
I see. So we're talking about something that is a professional secret of some kind, I assume, as you as captain and your work. But understand that if you want me on board as a matter of trust, or at least so that I don't question your orders, you know what I mean? If you are making a decision based on a logical course of action, you know that you would have my absolute support. I would not question a logical decision, even if it perhaps wasn't exactly the most legal. Is it legal? Is this a legal thing? I'm assuming. I hear a lot of things about starfaring captains. Laws tend to be very nebulous when you spend a lot of time out in space.
It's not a legal issue. It's just a safety. It's a mortal issue.
I'm not ominous at all. Fantastic. At this point in time, you are approached by someone else. This is another, you think she's Lauren, but you can't be sure because her skin appears to be dyed. There's actually a more pinkish tint to it than anything else, but she looks Lauren in her eyes at the very least, or one of her eyes. The other one has a pink color contact in it. So it's sort of this like very vibrant looking person. She's wearing a beautiful dress, but very functional, very clearly like wide enough that she can move around in it very easily. And a shawl that is shifting colors, like it's actually a bunch of LEDs, like micro LEDs kind of wired together so it can be shifting constantly. She gives you a smile from behind electric blue lipstick and says, "Hello and welcome to the Chromatic Geode. I'm told that you're new here. Is that true?"
I'm going to look for Merrick and be like, "Gee, I wonder who told you that."
She holds out a hand. "Trexie, I'm in charge here. It's nice to meet you."
"Oh, you're okay. Nice to meet you. Phera Lark."
Welcome to my fancy little establishment. I was actually, you seem to insinuate that maybe one of your people mentioned you. I actually got a radio from Pockets.
Pockets.
He told me to be on the lookout for a Torvania Lauren, and I don't know where your human companion's gotten off to, but I'm sure he's having fun.
I'm sure. Can I?
He's over.
The two of you,
I'm sure
the two of you scan the room, and it takes you a second to see him now on the other arm of the lavishly dressed Torvani man in the VIP area.
Oh.
He get in there. How come we couldn't?
She looks over, following your eyes, and goes, "Oh, very interesting. Well,
no accounting for
if
taste.
you're going to be there's all accounting for taste here. If you are going to be staying long, I'm the one to talk to about reservations for rooms, and if you're not, I'm the one to talk to about restocking for your journey ahead. What can I do for you?"
Ooh, I'm actually not sure yet. We're waiting to determine how long we're going to be here. One of our crew members needs patching up. Is there Can I get back to you on that? We're kind of speaking logistics.
Yeah, she actually, as you're saying that, she actually seems a little distracted by something and goes, "Yes, of course. I'll be back shortly," and quickly walks off somewhere else.
Darn, I was hoping to talk to her about secure channels.
She said she'll be back.
Good point.
She's walking over and talking to, it looks like one of the employees, one of the other, like the bartenders, who she leans over and is saying something to. You guys looking around the room, you see Merrick catches your eye and sort of gives you a wave at some point. And let me go to Halcyon for a little bit. Cool?
Yep.
Great. Halcyon.
That's me.
You have made your way up to the 34th floor of this building. There's simple security procedures, but showing anyone your arm gives and saying that you're here for Dr. Sorrel. Actually, I think when you get to this, a doorman and this, I think a Malleus doorman actually, who sees your arm and what do you say? He says, basically stops you and goes, "I'm sorry, you here to visit someone?"
Yes, it's my understanding that there is a doctor, I forget the name personally, Sarazi.
Doctor, you're looking for the splicer.
Yes. And
kind of looks over at your arm. "You're good.
Just like a quick, shows
Go ahead. I know her type."
And just a quick signing of thank you as we pass.
He does actually sign that back. He does respect that. Okay, you head up to the 34th floor. You go find room 104. And you realize they're numbered. Usually it's like, the floor, so it'd be like 34-4. But it's actually like every floor has its own like set of numbers, and there's actually it's big enough. There's more than 100 rooms on each floor. This place is packed.
It's like 34-104.
Yeah, based on how close these doors are together, you can't imagine these rooms are very big. This is not like comfortable living space. This is not what you'd expect from someone who's wealthy in any way. But you get to the door, which is a bit more used than some of the others. There's some scratch marks on it. There's some very clear, like, it looks like the handle maybe been picked a couple of times. It's a bit of a sketchy looking place.
And on that note, Ro, frozen fish has given you advantage.
Phenomenal. Hey. All right, everyone here has gotten their advantage tonight. Thanks everyone for all your advantages.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as we approach this clearly sketchy door, Rose, not Ro, or Ro, I'm Halcyon. Hal turns to Gammon and is like, all right, well, this is the place. What's your gut telling you?
A little hungry, I guess. I hadn't really thought about it.
About this. We'll get food after this.
Oh. I mean, this is the place, right? He knocks. They knock.
Can't say I'm surprised.
From in the middle of the door, and so there's no like peepholes, but you see the matter sort of phases for a second as someone is like, you can't see inside, but you just see there's some sort of panel there which turns black, and then Ethan, you are upside down. There we go. We're back. It's a Calasty thing. Yeah.
I didn't say anything because Calasty. I figured.
My brother walked by and knocked over my thing.
The door opens, and on the other side of the door, you see a very crowded apartment building. It's the whole place looks to be about 15 feet by 15 feet at most, and it's like there's one small door that looks like probably this leads to a bathroom based on the size of it all, and the whole place is crowded up with tables and tech. There's like racks going over the ceiling where various tools and implements are dangling from. There's a couple of like prosthetics like mounted on the wall either for use or just for show, and standing behind the door is a maybe can't be more than 4.5 feet Kelsara woman. She has very like most of her skin is covered by this like kind of like a patchwork shady back alley version of the hospital garb. It's still that same coat, but cut to fit instead. Very cool. One of her arms is not its usual arm. It's entirely mechanical and appears more human or more like humanoid, because her other arm, her right arm, only has 2 fingers and it is more kind of like blades than anything else, like natural surgical tools. She's kind of looks almost mantis-like in her nature.
Okay.
Her head kind of curves up a little bit. Her eyes are very far apart. And she sort of looks down at you with what you cannot tell of is what her expression is. There's absolutely no tell as to what emotion she is possibly portraying right now. But she is going to kind of wide-eyed look down at you and up at you, I guess. She's very short. And say, here to get some work done?
Yes, a very kind learned man over at the hospital across the street recommended me to you. And as Hal is saying that, he's like formally undoing the dressing for his arm.
I was unaware that anyone at the hospital still spoke my name. Well, very well.
But before we begin, I recognize this kind of place. I know where I'm at.
Sure.
So I just need to maybe lay some ground rules and maybe like get a feel for how you are before I agree to anything. Does that make sense?
Of course, yes. I'm happy to go through my list of accomplishments and the pieces of paper that people have signed telling me I'm allowed to do what I'm doing. But
oh, you got pieces of paper. I don't have any.
I recommend it. Some people like having pieces of paper. Personally, I've never seen the need for them.
I've just been going from ship to ship, station to station for the past few cycles, so never really lived in one location long enough after I left home to get a piece of paper.
Well, my Malleus friend. Can I call you friend?
We're both doctors.
A man of science. Wonderful. Well, I'm more than happy to help you, and I'll let you know what my ground rules are and tell me if they're applicable to you. If you want a certain procedure done, I can certainly take care of that procedure. I see you've had an unfortunate run-in with what plasma rifle assault brand, I'd imagine.
Yep.
You've done some decent work there, considering you were likely out in space when it was happening. I can patch that up, no problem, but the fact of the matter is a lot of the organic matter is gone, and what you'd be getting is fairly standard replacement. It would leave your arm feeling a little bit numb, but it's the best modern medicine can provide for you would simply be to fill in the gaps and let the motor functions be a little bit annulled. The best I can provide you would be a much more advanced prosthetic. I'd be happy to provide either of these for the right price. One, of course, is much cheaper than the other. And, of course, if I mess anything up and you lose the limb, you don't pay a cent.
What? Okay. And Hal is just gonna start just kind of like idle, if the doctor lets him, just kind of like idly wandering around.
She moves to let you in?
Like just looking at things.
You go start to move in, and Gammon goes to follow you, and she, her robot, like human hand, flips to a knife and points at Gammon. Where's your injury? And Gammon goes, no, me, I'm not injured. I'm good. I just the captain told me I needed a checkup.
We were both in the same firefight. I took the blow that I took this blow.
She,
and
as
the captain just wants him to get checked.
As you're talking, this woman is raised up. Her feet seem to have some sort of cybernetics in it that lift her zoop up. So there takes two little like mantis fingers and holds Gammon's eye open a little bit more, very precisely. Kind of looks in close, does a few quick things and kind of taps on their skull. Gammon's like, and just goes, "He's fine, free of charge. Wait outside," and kind of shoves Gammon out and closes the door.
Thank you, Gammon. Please don't.
I'm
leave.
not going anywhere, boss. And you get a good look around at her work. In spite of the sketchiness of this place, everything at least she has on display is really top notch. Her tech is incredible, and it looks like the work she does here is done not up to code certainly, but well.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific you're looking for, or?
Hal would not be looking at the things that are like proudly like on display. Hal would be just like perusing the tools and the stuff that gets quote unquote daily use and seeing how they work.
These tools. Can you go ahead and make an assessment? Actually, let's do that using your intelligence.
Okay. All right. That's an 8.
Expertise.
Oh,
if it's
is it expertise?
If it's tool use and stuff like that.
Oh,
I mean, actually, no.
I thought it would be like knowledge of this kind of stuff. It's not actually using it.
Right.
8. You don't. What I'll give you with an 8 is that you don't recognize any of this. That's not to say it isn't good.
Okay.
It's to say it isn't local. It's to say this is something. This is all like work that she did on her own. You recognize that it is built well, and the work she does is good work. You can't guarantee your own safety because you don't recognize any of the methods she's using. It's all very...
Okay.
She's not subtle. She's very off the books.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, after like just kind of meandering around for a moment, Hal is going to say, Doctor, sorry, I just have to check in with my captain before anything gets done.
You'll need to step outside then. Communications are blocked in this room. You will not be able to reach her from here.
Understandable. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'll knock on the door when I'm ready.
You step outside.
And just walk out the door. And when Hal walks out, he's gonna look over at Gammon and be like, "You okay, Gammon?"
Oh yeah, no, cool. I was just practicing new drum rhythm, just doing like a little, like on the wall. Gammon just like banging in the wall a little bit.
I could have told the captain that he was fine. Hey, Captain. How's it going?
It's going. What about you? What's going on over there?
Oh, it's a real shop, but it looks fairly legit. It looks like it's going to be a full prosthetic. I don't know how much it's going to cost yet, but it sounds like it's going to be a lot faster than waiting at the hospital.
You know, we won't mind wait. I can wait if it means it'll get done correctly. Are you sure?
From what the good doctor was describing, the best the hospital can do doesn't quite meet my standards.
Of course. Well, I leave it in your very capable hand for now.
Thank you, Captain. That was a good one. And she checked Gammon out free of charge. She says he's fine.
Wonderful.
I believe he's fine as well, but he's still Gammon.
Is he behaving himself?
You look over, Gammon is doing push-ups.
He went from practicing a drum solo to doing push-ups like that, so I think he's fine.
Okay. I trust you. Just be
All right.
careful.
I know. I'm doing my best to be careful. Just want to keep you in the loop, Captain.
Thank you.
All right. Catch you
Bye.
later. And then just
She
turn around and just...
opens the door before you knock. So where are you and your captain going on this starship?
We're here. That's where we're going.
Are you looking for the advanced organic prosthetic, or are you looking for a fill-in?
The one that will make... That won't make me numb, so the advanced one. How much is that going to cost?
Well, it depends on what kind of work you're willing to do. You see, I actually have need of someone of your particular race and skill set, potentially. I don't know your skill set. You're a Malleus, though, and you have a mask.
Yes.
I could use that. So, typically, an organic prosthetic from me, and I assume you...
You need to explain that a little bit further for me. What do you have need of?
Typically, it completely ignores this. Typically, for someone of a quick job to get this done quickly and get you your organic prosthetic, I can do a simple organic prosthetic with maybe a few little extra features for 3 credits. But that is very expensive, and I understand this. So I have some potential extra work you can do if you're going to be traveling in the right direction, and I have some extra work you can do here on the planet as well. Each job will reduce the cost by 1 because I like you. So 1 credit.
What?
1 credit if you're willing to do 2 things. 2 if you're willing to do 1 thing, and 3 if not.
Okay.
Maybe
this is
free if you do them to completion.
This is for the top of the line, like the best you can possibly do.
The only reason you would notice it isn't your original arm is if I put any fancy bells and whistles on it, which I will happily do. Would you like your arm to shoot a laser? I can make your arm shoot a laser.
He would like his arm to shoot.
I would
a
like my
laser,
arm to shoot a laser, Kevin says from outside.
but that's not why we're here, Gammon. He gets excited about weaponry.
You're a doctor. I can put some surgical tools in your fingertips, perhaps? Reinforced plating?
That
Even more so than the Malleus already has?
I'm fine with where I'm at for that, at least. I guess if you could put some sort of maybe like a syringe needle, a refillable syringe in maybe 1 finger, and then maybe a small scalpel in another. Is that possible?
Anything is possible through the powers of science. But yes, of course.
But how much?
That would not
how
change.
much would that increase the
It would
cost?
not. That is, I would say, par for the course for my typical organic replacements. I am the best there is.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and do that. These jobs.
Yes.
What exactly are they?
One of them is fairly simple, and the other one is also fairly simple. There was an easier way to say that, and I haven't figured out what it is. The first one is to... there are some, shall we say, obnoxious people. There's morons, there's a word for it, but I can't find that word either, who have been pestering me for various reasons, and I want them dissuaded from doing so. Something of a street gang. Nothing too serious. People, nothing a Starfarer like yourself and their people wouldn't be able to handle. I don't need them killed. I just need them dissuaded from ever coming here again. I don't want to see them again. They might as well be dead to me. You understand? If you can take care of that, convince them to never come here again, or kill them, I don't really care, then I will reduce the price by 1. And if I'm satisfied with how it happened, maybe you bring pictures of dismembered parts of them that I don't like. I might even reduce it by another 1, depending on how good the pictures are. I don't like these people, and I want them taken care of. Otherwise, I'm happy to reduce the price by 1 cred for a small favor. There is a message I direly want delivered. And when I say a message, I mean an incredibly dense encrypted file. And I need it broadcasted to someone in the amber sector of space. It's incredibly far away. You can't reach it without months and months of travel. But a core world broadcast station should have something like that you can project this file through. However, they check thoroughly all files going out through the broadcast station for obvious reasons, and the only way you'd be able to slip it in is in the neural mask, because there's enough space in one of those things to store the file. They wouldn't check your neural mask. I know, I've done this before. They've all been fine.
Got you. I haven't quite done that, but I'm not a stranger to sending encrypted channels cross sector.
Terrific. So you'll do it.
Yes.
Wonderful. It, again, no hesitation, goes over to a place where there's like a little small computer setup, does a few taps, pulls out the equivalent of a flash drive, something that it would fit in one of your neural ports. If you wanted to upload it, you could, and goes, I'll turn around if you need privacy. And it turns right away from you.
Not quite, but okay. Undoes one side, plugs it in, and waits for the file transfer to complete.
Happens pretty quickly.
Unplugs it. All right. Here's your drive pack. It is stored in the mask.
Wonderful.
So let's say I pay you upfront now and then do these tasks. Would you refund me that, or do I need to complete these before the surgery?
You are incredibly trustworthy. I can tell from your face. There's something about you, and I will never let it go. I will remember you for as long as I live. So I will take 1 credit, and you can go do these tasks. And if these pictures are incredible, I will refund you the 1 credit.
Okay. Consider it done.
Would you like to work now?
Yes, I would like this done before we do any of these tasks.
Would you like to be sedated, or would you rather remain awake?
Awake. And he undoes his neural mask, kind of leans back out through the doorway, says, Gammon, I need you to hold on to this for a while. Do not lose it. Do not...
You can't say that when you take it off. You have to say that first.
I'm dumb. Has the neural mask in, leans back out the door, and says, hey, Gammon, I'm going to need you to hold on to my neural mask. If you break it, or if you lose it, I will kill you. Do you understand?
Yeah, no, gotcha. I'm not going to break or lose this. No problem. He takes it very gingerly.
And
puts it up to his face.
Don't leave here until I walk out.
Malleus. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I got you, boss. Do you come back inside and see that her robot hand has now been replaced by several surgical tools? When you weren't looking, is now just ready to go. Just kind of point to shoves papers off a desk. Lie down there.
And wordlessly, Hal gets up, gets as comfortable as he can, and then just kind of on a whim signs, here we go.
She looks at your hands and goes, I don't understand what that means, but this won't hurt. I'm a professional. And she starts to work. Let's cut away. All right, back to Talon. Talon, you head over to the Ditzy Himbo. The starship looks fine. Compared to what yours was before the work was done, it's like good. It looks pristine. It's very, very good keep. It's just clear that hasn't seen a lot of firefight. It appears to be a cargo ship, very kind of common class 2. Hasn't really seen any big scraps. Doesn't seem to be in any issue, but it is currently shut down. There's no active systems or anything. It's all powered down. And the Lurin woman, golden hair, sort of wearing one of the uniforms that you might expect from someone. What's your faction? The cargo people.
Oh, that are the
Celestial Cargo Corporation. So yeah, wearing a Celestial Cargo uniform. It's the goal. So Celestial Cargo Corporation uniform, clearly that's their thing. They work for them. And she looks over to you and instinctively holds out a hand to shake, and goes, where's my notes? Captain Nelda, sorry, do you... She withdraws her hand a little bit.
It's all right. Yes, I am used to that reaction.
So Pocket's been looking at this, and neither him nor any of his techs can figure out what's wrong with this thing. Whenever we power it, it must be something with the software, because whenever we power it up, it goes haywire. Systems start going crazy. We almost blew another ship out of the starport because our point defense turrets started going off. We have no idea what's going on. We've had people look at it. They say there's no virus. There's no bug. We don't know what's going on. Everything seems clear. This just happened. Last time we took off, everything started going crazy. We had to put back down on the planet immediately. We don't know what's going on with the ship.
I will see what I can do.
All right, I appreciate it. Pockets assures me you're good at this, so...
I am very good, yes.
We have the ramp already open, but all the doors are currently propped open, so you've free reign across the ship. Do you mind if I come with you, or do you want to work alone?
Either or.
Then I will come with you, if that's quite all right. Okay. You start making your way through the ship. What are you looking for here, Talon?
I'm going to look for wherever the main computer, CPU, whatever system is on the ship.
Yeah, you can go. You can find that.
If they think it's purely software,
I
will check there.
Yeah, first. Go ahead. Go again. It is currently powered down. And she says, you can power it up in safe mode if you want. So it's not actually connected to any of it doesn't actually have any sort of control aspect. It's to browse around. And she'll actually go ahead and do that for you. Can you go ahead and make an assessment, please?
This is a great time to point out that my suit has a built-in CPU that allows me to wirelessly connect with other systems.
Phenomenal. This would be intellect? I think this would be intellect. This is computer stuff. This is intellect.
Okay. Do I get advantage for my suit? Or did anyone give me advantage?
I believe... not again. I think we said one at a time. Hey, if anyone in chat wants to throw another advantage at Talon right now, you're welcome to do that. I'm fine with being multiple procession as long as it's only one at a time. I don't want it to have to keep track of it. Yeah. I don't care. We're having a good time here. So y'all watch chat for a second and let me know if anyone gives Talon advantage.
Yeah, I'm not watching the chat anymore either.
Jake will let me know. For now, roll, and then if you need it, we can always throw an extra die on there. If someone gives you advantage. I don't know what the lag's looking like right now. I don't know what the delay is.
Intellect, you said?
Yes.
That would be a 7 then.
A 7. Okay.
Unless someone gives me advantage.
I don't think it's gonna. I see someone saying I would if I could.
It's fine.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a no-go on the advantage for this one. We're going to carry on. 7 it is. On a 7, you don't get any sort of advantage moving forward, but you do learn something useful. And that something useful is, from what you can tell, there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with the hardware. I don't think you can pinpoint the software. I don't think you can pinpoint what is going on here, but nothing seems to be installed wrong. Your limited knowledge of like the computer side of things, everything seems to be in working order. But you do also see what they're talking about. We got some cheers, yay! You do see what they're talking about, which is that there is a lot of like buggy, like everything seems to be like moving of its own accord. The system that seems to be like, you can see where, oh, that would have fired the cannon, that would have opened the door, that would have closed the door, that would have opened the door again. There's no rhyme or reason behind any of it. It's like it's going haywire, and whatever that means to you, you can't pinpoint exactly what it is.
I have an interesting idea that may be true or not.
Sure.
Does this seem as if someone like VaTze might be in the system?
If they are, it's again same thing. There's no reasoning behind it. There's no one like they aren't like it's not someone trying to get out. It's not an AI or anything in there. And even the captain even says we don't have an AI on the ship or anything like that. It's just we do things the old-fashioned way. So there's nothing, no like sign of anything like that. You could at least nothing you could learn from the computer at this point in time. But this leads you to believe either they're wrong and it's not a software thing at all, or you need a computer expert and you're not the guy for the job.
Is there a any of it's trying to set off all these different systems seemingly at random? Is there any system that seems to be being set off more than the others?
No. There's no patterns, no rhyme or reason. There's nothing like, there's no way with this mixed success you got, there's no way to figure out like what the goal is here.
Do I know enough about VaTze's capabilities to know if he could help?
Maybe.
By going into the system himself?
That would probably be possible. VaTze could at least do a more thorough check.
Then I will say this. The problem does seem to be a bit beyond my capabilities. However, I do have a friend on our ship who this is kind of right up his alley. He's not so much good with the mechanical side of things, but systems is practically second nature.
Listen, I don't get paid enough to finance a new starship, so I'll try anything.
Very well, and I will get on comms and call VaTze.
All right. VaTze is going to...
He can use his new robot.
Yes, VaTze is going to roll his way over in Telemachus's body, nice and patched up. The sort of silvery white chromish form of Telemachus's robot form comes over. The like one single eye is VaTze has turned to like a little kind of happy looking eye thing, which seems to be the closest you can get to being okay. That doesn't seem menacing, and comes over and speaks. And you actually have not heard this before, because VaTze usually has his own voice, but he's using the robot speakers. So VaTze speaks and says,
so glad to be here. How can I help?
VaTze, my friend, these kind of people seem to be having a problem with their computer system. Anytime they try to start up their ship, their computer system seems to try to activate random systems, which has been causing them no shortage of problems. I was wondering if you could have a look inside.
Certainly, not a problem at all.
And goes over and kind of waits and turns to look at the captain and turns to look back at you.
Is it all right if we get a little privacy, or is this going to be... Is it weird now? I made it weird, didn't I?
If you require privacy, I'm sure the captain would understand.
The captain narrows his eyes a little bit, but says, okay, and sort of backs out of the room.
Offer it before.
VaTze leaves, the plasmic cloud comes out of Telemachus's body, straight into the ship, and kind of comes back out pretty quickly, and it just says, while still in cloud form,
goodness gracious, permissions weren't an issue because everything is haywire in there. This is not a software issue at all. This is entirely hardware. Something that makes this ship tick is it's like someone is grabbing all of the wires to make the ship run and rattling them around constantly. Whatever's going on here is going on beneath the surface.
Okay, that means it is something more likely for me to be able to fix. That is good. Thank you, VaTze.
Not a problem.
Were you able to get any kind of idea of where it might be on the ship?
Oh no, it was also while I was in there like the equivalent of like someone who grabbed me and was shaking wildly around, so I did get out as quickly as possible.
I apologize for putting you...
That's quite alright, I'm fine now.
Floats back into, reintegrates with Telemachus and goes,
Unless there's anything else, I'll be heading back to the ship now.
Very well, thank you.
off. And before you go to investigate what happens further, I think now's as good a time as any to take a quick, let's do a quick break. I want to get back to this, so quick 5 minutes, and I will see y'all in 5. I'm just going to do a quick...
Michael.
we're back. We did it. We came back. We made it. All right. So, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't finish final double check, Sean. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god. Well, we eat.
I was just really excited.
Sean, I thought the only way to get you to leave would be to endlessly compliment how amazing Uncharted Worlds is.
It's even better that it was muted.
All right, I'm done now. Okay.
That's okay. That was on me.
You will finish that samosa right now.
Add it to the list of terrible things I've done tonight with technical stuff.
Oh, good.
Man, I would love to get someone else to run the actual Streamlabs side of this, so I could just focus on running the game. But that's too much teaching. Okay. So let's go back to the chromatic geode for a little bit. So back in the chromatic geode, Trexie has gone off to do her thing.
Whoa.
Excuse me. Goodness gracious.
Goodness me.
Sorry. Trexie has gone off to do her thing, and Merrick is still doing his thing with that lavish Torvani man. And you guys are at the table. Are you waiting on anything, or you guys have anything you want to talk about before more things happen?
I think that Rose said what he needs to say. It's just he's looking at a way how to accommodate how should I put it? A more out there lifestyle, one that keeps moving, one that is very starbound. I can accommodate a starbound lifestyle, but unfortunately, I would need to at least have the ability to, ship stuff to the society, communicate with them, that kind of thing, because without it, everything that I am, my position within the society, is lost. All right? If I don't regularly communicate findings, my reason for being no longer applies.
Well, we can't have that. Is there... I don't know too much about relaying information on a regular basis. Is there a kind of system upgrade we can put onto the Freya, or is there
a long range tight beam or something like that?
If
that would have to be encrypted, of course.
It's a little trickier, but I feel like we could do that.
An out-of-game answer to that in-game question, because your characters are more familiar with the world than you are. And this is something that, again, this is a world we're creating together, so yes, it's definitely possible, but I would say getting tech like that is definitely doable, probably not on this planet. And until then, there are services you can use. There's people you can pay for discrete transportation, or you can go to one of the core worlds and use their transmit stations. But otherwise, if you want to, there's options, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay. So,
if anything, actually, I think that the academy itself, the society itself, would probably be able to point us in the right direction. I'm willing to hold off on all of my findings and just keep working on various various writings that I'm doing right now. But I would request that at some point we stop off at a major academy system and see if we can't arrange some sort of higher powered communications array on the ship.
Let's make a deal. I promise you that at the next available academy outpost, I don't know what they call them, we will stop, and you and I will schedule an appointment, try to get something for our ship. We will not leave the planet until we have an answer or the equipment we need for you to do your work. In return, I would need you to be okay with me not telling you why I charted the course the way I did, at least for now. With the understanding that I will tell you all together when I need to.
I think that that's a good arrangement. I think that we can deal with that. I'm going to put a bit of trust in you that you're not going to lead us astray or lead us down a quite literal path down a wormhole. And in exchange, yes, I will follow along with that.
Well, I will put a bit of trust in you that you won't leave. At least not without letting us know.
Trexie, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you first.
Yeah. No. You just nods and just that was it. It was just like a nod of understanding of no, I won't just up and abandon.
Gotcha. Trexie sweeps in. You almost don't recognize her as she takes a seat at your table. You do recognize her based on the shawl and the dress, but all of it has changed in color, not in fashion. And even her skin has gone from its pink down to a much more subdued Lauren purple. She looks like she could be your sister right now, Phera. She is like very clearly still her for anyone who like knows her, but also very clearly not as eye-catching as she was before sitting down, and goes, "Sorry to intrude. Just have a little bit of an issue going on here. Nothing to be too concerned about, but I did need you all to know, and I happened to overhear a little bit of what you were talking about. You're explorers, yes? Starfarers, which means you're generally equipped to handle more tenuous situations. Is that a fair assessment?"
It's a fair assessment, but what could be tenuous right this second?
I ask nothing of you you're not prepared to give, but she glances and gives a quick nod in a direction when she kind of waits a second, and then when she thinks it's safe, gives a nod to look. I assume you look over whatever she's pointing at.
Yes.
There's a man making his way sort of around the place. He has a drink in his hand, which he has not touched. You actually see him even do a thing where he like raises it to his lips and doesn't drink. He's so bad at pretending. But this man is also a Cyoxy, which is immediately recognizable because he's very much leaning into the mechanical side of things. He has like almost chromatic gray skin and a bunch of cybernetic enhancements. He's 7'2" and just like would fit inside a door frame. He's huge. And he's just kind of making his way around. He's dressed in clothes that very clearly are like, he's trying so hard to be undercover and he's so bad at it. But he's very clearly some sort of like official or some sort of you don't know like what the law is here, but he has that vibe about him, which you can spot from a mile away. And she goes, "This kind fellow, Officer Barsk, has frequented our place from time to time, so much so that it was practically on a schedule. He's looking for something that may or may not be happening here, and typically we know he's coming in enough in advance so that it is not happening. Unfortunately, he pulled a fast one on us this time, and it is here, and the thing that is happening is still going to happen very soon. He doesn't know you. You're not locals. He knows me. He knows my people. And the deal that's about to go down is the thing he's looking for. Technically speaking, it's not illegal on this planet. It's just illegal in the eyes of United Multiverse. And you know how United Multiverse gets. So, when this thing goes down, Officer Barsk is going to call in his backup, and things are going to get ugly. There's not really much avoiding it. The people we're doing this deal with don't like to be kept waiting. And they would sooner, resort to violence than they would do anything else. I don't know what it is you're capable of, but suffice it to say, if you can help us make this a non-issue, either by finding a way to distract or get rid of the kindly Officer Barsk, or by perhaps talking to the people we have coming and convincing them to come another time, I would be incredibly grateful and see that whatever supplies you needed came free of charge."
That's interesting. What is happening that's not supposed to be happening?
It's called geodust. It is a focus enhancer, we'll call it. Again, legal most places. United Multiverse just doesn't like it. And since Barsk has been sticking around, we've been forced to make this operation a bit more shady. Usually they happen in the light of day. There used to be stalls that sold the stuff at the marketplace. But, well, Multiverse decided that they wanted a piece of the pie in this planet, and that our economy was less important to them than their morals and ideals.
What happens if this person gets caught?
To
them.
To the person doing the dealing?
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. They'll probably walk out just fine, but there'll be a trail of violence in its wake. Barsk will try to actually incite some sort of jurisdiction, but I protect this place and I protect my own. It will come to a firefight. We will win, and there will be a lot of bodies to speak for it. If Barsk were to get our dealer and take him away, which I can't see happening without a fight, but if it were to happen without a fight, as loath as I am to see that happen, he would be taken off and brought to some sort of holding facility for, well, whatever punishment it is they dish out. They'd relocate him somewhere he can't find geodust. I don't know how they operate. I don't know how they handle things.
Where's this loading facility?
Where's
the holding facility?
I don't keep an eye on the ins and outs of United Multiverse. They've never actually taken any of my people in before.
Okay.
It wouldn't be on planet.
I was, at some point I summoned Merrick over, like, casual.
He's all the way across the room, so you'd have to comms it up with him.
Okay.
Actually,
you can.
I raised my hand.
But...
I raised my hand. I raise my hand to Merrick, lift my empty glass, and point at it.
Merrick is very distracted.
So I was hoping that would like.
Merrick appears to be playing cards with this fine Torvani fellow, and he's very engaged in this game.
Great. How close is Merrick to like the VIP entrance?
Like 20,
right,
like 15 feet. He's so close.
Okay. Excuse me for
she
one moment.
She holding out. You're looking over at your friend? Another reason it's beneficial for you to get this done without a hitch. The man he's playing with, his name's Dave. We call him the conductor. And he's the one doing the deal. If anything suspicious is happening over there, it's going to call Barsk right over.
Fuck. We can't use comms. Okay. Just you and me, Ro.
Let's see.
The person who he's making the deal with should be arriving in about 5 minutes.
So if the deal doesn't go down, nothing goes wrong.
Correct, but this person does not like to be kept waiting.
Quick description, 10 words or less, what this person looks like.
The problem is he's going to be nondescript. He typically wears something a little different every time. I can tell you that it is a Lurin man, but that's not anything here. Taller fellow, bit of an amber tint to his eyes, but it's going to be hard to spot him unless you know who you're looking for. If you wait outside for a Lurin man coming in, I can point him out if he comes into the room, but at that point you're going to have less than a minute to resolve whatever happens.
So it looks like our only bet is to pull the narc away from the narking.
I would be very appreciative. He'll be looking for things like that, but again, he doesn't know you. You don't have any skin in the game. So as far as he's concerned, I'm sure he would try to find something on you, but there isn't anything to be found. You're starfarers.
Quick question. Will he intervene with any sort of crime happening?
Knowing him, probably.
What's the crime for fighting?
I mean,
like, is that something worth getting in the middle?
If there's a fight, in here, our people will take care of it. If you were to go out on the street and start some sort of loud fight, I'm certain he'd come running.
Great. Ro.
Yes.
I know you're not a violent person, but I will allow you to take out some pent-up aggression towards the way I acted via physical violence just this once. And if you say no, I will have no choice but to just call the executive decision as your captain.
I understand. That said, Captain, I think that the altercation should happen directly in front of him.
We can fight on the way.
As a matter of fact, yes. And not only that, I am leaving and I'm taking a double share of the entire takings, whatever takings we have. Do we have takings? How do we earn money? This is something like as we're getting up and leaving. Like I've never actually had the gall to ask you because I wasn't a member of the crew. Like
okay,
as we're walking along.
We'll talk about that later.
How do we earn money?
I'm throwing the plate of the food on the table on the floor. You don't earn money.
Okay.
Yes, I notice we don't earn money, but how are we supposed to earn money is the question.
If you thought you can make a decent salary on my crew, you're mistaken. This is very.
Could go back to academia if I wanted to earn no money.
Ro, I'll let you guys pick who you want to do this. Someone needs to roll plus influence right now to try and get your job done.
Absolutely,
I will. That's my -1.
So Ro, go ahead and handle this one.
Yes.
Oh wait, that's my +1.
Oh.
This isn't something that Ro has really covered. I'm sorry, I must have closed my character.
This is terrific.
But so this isn't something I've really covered with Ro much because he's always been the more academic style. But you see, as part of academia, he has had a certain interest in the performing arts, and he doesn't like to talk about it very much, but he has
lectures.
He's given lectures, he's had to handle classes, he is a professor. He has to be able to convey stuff, plus he's done the occasional theater performance and that kind of thing. It's part of the Galactic Academy, so he actually has a +2 on influence.
I love this,
that I've never used because he's not a subtle person.
Fantastic.
He's not one to so all right,
thank you for coming to my talk.
Exactly. Thank you. All right. So let's do this. 6 and 3. So that is a
11.
9. So 11.
Fantastic.
You educate.
Not only do you get this guy's attention, but you do it in such a way that you're arguing just loud enough to get the attention of this very clearly of this narc, but not loud enough that you're bothering any of the patrons. So as you guys go out, he doesn't follow you into the street, but you, out of the corner of your eye, you see him follow you to the door, to the point where he's aware, he's seeing, he's looking for an opportunity for if this is going to escalate and see if it's something he needs to pay attention to. You have his interest, and now get his attention, so to speak.
Yeah, so as we're getting out the door, as we
paint this picture for me.
As we're losing sight of him because we're going out the door, so we lose line of sight, Ro will slam himself into the door as it closes and throw himself on the floor and shriek, "I can't believe you did that to me! God help me! Someone!"
I'm gonna grab Ro and pull him back.
You pull Ro up, so that the two of you are now locked. And obviously, hook, line, and sinker, straight out the door, this massive Cyoxy man bursts out. He has one hand on his gun, and he's looking back and forth at what's going on. You've gotten other people's attention too. You aren't gathering a crowd, but anyone nearby has definitely noticed. We're riding on a success right now. Continue spinning this fiction for me. What happens?
So I point to him and I just say, "Sir, please, you've got to stop her. Just get her away from me. She's had way too much."
How dare you? I'm your captain.
Hang on. He comes through and goes,
no, this is none of your business. Who are you?
Officer Barsk, United Multiverse. Step away from the Torvani.
I don't care about. Okay, I outrank you.
You do not outrank me. Captain of a starship does not outrank me. Is that the kind of captain you're talking about? Who do you work for?
I'm absolutely talking captain. I don't work for anybody. I am you are out of line.
Okay,
sorry.
At this point, Ro actually tries to do the whole peace thing of "Oh, I am sorry. I did not want to interfere with anything to do." He's saying this loudly, slightly tipsily loudly, but but this is more the projecting voice, right?
Yeah. You're taking.
I'm taking on the theater tone. It's like I am sorry, I did not mean to interfere with a member of with a member of the multiverse. It's multiverse, right?
United Multiverse, yeah.
With the United Multiverse's operations here. I really apologize. I thought you were the bouncer of this place. My captain has had a little bit too much. Thank you for getting her to come to her senses. Captain, I'm very sorry.
Where do you come off?
Can we continue this discussion? Not with everyone paying attention. And, he's
Let them look.
He is at this point weighing his options, and he's looking. Right now, this is sort of turned from an actual concern of his to realizing this may just have been a drunken mishap. And as much as he wants to dispense justice, you can see him even now glancing over his shoulder. He wants to get back inside. So you guys need to do something to kind of keep him on the hook right now. You got him out. Now you have to do something to keep him out.
I'm hoping that whoever was going to be coming in, me announcing that this is a
United I gotcha.
A United Multiverse thing will scare him off. Oh, you're a cop. Thank goodness you're a cop.
Well,
hey everyone, it's a cop.
It's gonna be a few minutes, so let's give it a second. Phera, what were you gonna say?
Right.
I'm gonna put my hands on the cop. I am going to, in a way that's not like I am very clearly assaulting a police officer. It's just we're not done with you yet. You're an officer of the law. Uphold the law.
So you grab his shoulder and try to turn him back around. Can you go ahead and give me a force roll? Let's see how this goes down. Okay. Let's see who's painting this picture. If it's you or let's see how this goes down.
Okay.
We're in it now.
You know what? I'm gonna use my advantage.
All right, throw it. Let's go.
Oh, I'm glad I did. That is a 9, 10, 11.
11. Fantastic. So you grab him and immediately feel him tense up. You don't know if he's going to throw a punch or just shove you off, but you've definitely got his attention now. This is a physical combatant and he's going to throw into physical combat. You can paint this for me. You may go ahead and with a win, you basically can goad him into whatever you want to goad him into and also hopefully not get hit.
Okay, I am going to, as soon as I feel him tense up, I think I've been in my fair share of pulling Merrick out of fights to know when action's gonna start, that I will turn his attention back to us and disengage at the same time. But also, I'm gonna kind of put my hands on my weapon towards Ro. Because I want to paint the picture that Ro is committing some kind of mutiny at this point. I'm convinced that our altercation has turned to dire straits. So you yeah. I'm not trying to threaten the cop to engage. I'm trying to threaten Ro to the point that the cop will try to now take on the intervener.
Okay, so perfect. You grab him and pull him, and he instinctively raises a fist and hand on his very large kind of sidearm. But you have stepped back, so he does not lash out at you. You draw your gun and start to point towards Ro, and
I don't draw it.
Oh, you hand on the gun.
Hand on it.
He draws immediately. He pulls out a kind of heavy-looking Magnum long pistol and points it straight at you and goes, "Hand off the gun now!"
Hey! We don't have to be like that. I need. If you say you're a cop, I could use a cop right now. We've got.
I'm an officer of United Multiverse.
I heard you. United Multiverse, very powerful stuff. Listen, with all that power, maybe you can help us out.
He goes, "I don't have time for the quabbles of a drunken lady with a gun."
Excuse me, I didn't even have my drink. Have you seen the frou-frou drinks that are in there? I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Listen, we've got a situation out here, and you say that you're an officer of the multiverse. Well, here's your big chance to shine, guy. How about you help us out? We've got a pending crime in the works, unless if you can cool us down.
At this point in time, you now, I think Ro, you probably notice even, there is, again, with the crowd gathering, there are still people like trying to get in or out, so shuffling by. You do see a Lauren man who sees this, recognizes the obvious distraction play, winks at you, and walks in. So now it's a matter of stalling for time.
Oh no!
So
no, you jerk.
Oh no,
you absolute.
Oh,
jerk.
he does not like to wait, as you were told. But at this point, Phera, you have gone from using force to convince him to stay to trying to convince him. So I need you to roll an influence. Because now he's beginning to catch on. Sorry, what's up?
Before, okay. So this is kind of like a little bit of an internal monologue thing. Ro kind of goes to his quiet place and looks at the situation, and he's going to use my deduction skill.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Who or what is most vulnerable here?
Okay. Vulnerable in what sense of the word? Like
vulnerable as in like how should I put it? Like specifically about this altercation between Phera and the guard. Basically, what's the way that he acted to Phera and the way that he's been acting to us? Can I tell a trigger of his? You know, like something that'll set him off.
Gotcha.
Like what? Yeah.
So you're.
I mean, it's kind of like what's most dangerous / vulnerable for me to pick on him.
What's his biggest insecurity?
See, here's what I'm going to give you. This man, from the purpose of like physical combat, would probably floor either or maybe even both of you at once, unless you guys are very lucky and very skilled. He's incredibly strong. But the issue with what's going on is that you guys keep having to keep him there. You've had to continue ramping things up higher and higher and higher. And there's only so far it's going to get ramped up now before he physically tries to drag someone away or is going to start to throw hands, basically. If you're looking for like the best way to like control the situation, that's in the way of vulnerability you're saying, there's two paths you can take. You could engage in combat, which would certainly keep him busy, or you could do like, you at this point would need to stop threatening crime and do an actual crime to get him to then take that next step. Otherwise, to delay him, you would just need to get a fight or some sort of exterior distraction. Maybe get someone else to do a crime, or make him think a crime is happening somewhere.
I am Phera, I am sorry for this. This might sting a little. While the altercation is happening, because I'm watching what he like. I'm like, okay, you know, like and do the kind of the Sherlock monologue, like internal monologue. You know, he's obviously very you know, he wants to appear like he's in control. He wants to use his physical strength, like that's his primary method. Slow, you know, that kind of thing, both physically and mentally. Yada yada yada. So pull my civilian grade stunner. Now this is of course, you know, it's legal to use, yada yada yada. There's no ramifications of having a stunner because it's like non-harmful, like non-lethal. Yeah. So buzz Phera, just
okay,
drop her.
I am then Phera, take advantage on that influence roll, because that's gonna help sell the bit for sure.
I'm stunned for a second. Ooh.
I'm hoping to knock her out, because then I'm going to need a big, strong, burly person to help me carry her back to the ship. She's not herself. Please.
Well, let's see how this influence goes.
So this influence is actually performing arts. We're all theater kids today. That'll be a 12.
Fantastic. You guys handled this like that was the most effortless handle of a situation I've ever seen. So you, Phera, are getting, and he kind of narrows his eyes, and you get stunned, and I think you would get Ro's intentions here. You can sort of drop to the ground. You're not actually.
I have no choice over that.
You are stunned. You are not. You can ham it up if you want, as Ro says, like, "Hey, I need help carrying this person." But you are. It's not that bad. And he sort of sees that, and he like narrows his eyes, and he says, "I understand what you were doing just there, but that was out of line. You should not have drawn." That we could still have talked this out.
Like, yeah, Ro just points, like, it's a civilian.
I know what it is.
Sorry, look. I'm a member of her crew. Like I'll pocket the thing and show my hands. I'm a member of her crew. I would very much appreciate, sir, if you could help me carry. I'm look at me. I'm like a skinny fish person. I couldn't carry her back to the ship. I needed to drag her back to the ship, and I didn't want her attacking you. So, and while he's saying this, I'm going to spend one of my creds and just be like, please, I'll get a taxi cab. I just need someone to help me carry her on.
No. Okay. Come,
Well,
listen, hey,
please.
you, buddy, gotta find yourself a better captain. And he hoists Phera up over his shoulder and is going to start walking towards the shipyard
I
with you.
dead weight myself
Oh,
with
yeah.
that, by the
Which,
way. I am going to absolutely make myself as heavy as possible.
Which is funny, but also like one hand, this guy is immensely strong and just like not even a problem, just carries you back towards the shipyard. Fantastic. Excellently done, guys. I'm going to cut away.
Good. Yeah, sure.
I think as you guys walk away, following him to the shipyard, the last thing we see is the Lurin come back out, whistling, looks away, nods happily, and walks out.
What a dick.
So, meanwhile, Halcyon.
Yep.
This is not as bad as you expected it to be. She didn't knock you out as requested, but she did use some anesthetic. She like took care of your nerve endings, so you weren't gonna like. She's not gonna do like. She's not a monster, and you feel it, but it's not. She wasn't lying when she said this won't hurt. I'm a professional. She meant that. It doesn't hurt. She's very good at it, and she's not replacing your entire arm. She's replacing the shoulder, and she does. She takes samples of your DNA. She clones it, she replicates it, does what she needs to do, and within about 30 minutes, your arm is like not just good to go, but like you would never know anything happened to it. But then she keeps going because she wants to throw on some extras.
Of course.
And she's sort of basically at risk of getting too medical with this, opens up your fingers, puts some stuff in the bones, and gives you some basic, effectively the equivalent of, hang on, actually, you check my assets page here really quick, but looking at effectively puts a medical kit in your hand.
Nice.
And is surprising efficiency. Like this is someone who is way above the skill level of any other surgeon you've met before. This is a clear like cybernetic surgeon. This is their thing, and they are incredibly good at what they do. They finish and kind of use this kind of sealing salve to close everything back up. No bandages needed. No more healing time needed. You're healed of all your maladies and injuries, and you have a medical kit in your hand. It's how it works is the various like armor paneling that's like on your fingers like opens up now to like and things pop out. And she goes, "All right then, that's done. You've paid already, but of course you need to finish your other job, or I will hunt you down and dissect you." And
yes.
Or maybe just take an extra credit, whichever suits your fancy better. Is perfectly fine by me. You're looking for a gang known as the Spikers. If you can find the Spikers and let them make sure they leave me alone. If they are unwilling to do so, you have my permission to use physical harm and or kill them.
Okay. Do you know roughly where they tend to congregate, for lack of a better word?
The Spikers have a home not too far outside of the main thoroughfare. They make their main stomping grounds near, and she gives you some landmark locations that you can use. And she goes, look for anywhere with barrels lining the streets. They like using them to store their things, even though that is not what they are for. They are for government-mandated things to be there, and they decide to use them for their own purposes.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gambit and I will see what we can do about them.
Terrific. There is no specific time limit on when I need that message delivered, by the way. The encrypted file can be delivered at your earliest convenience, as long as it doesn't take any more than, say, the equivalent of one cycle. A cycle being a year, basically.
Yeah.
If it takes longer than that, I will have to hunt you down. It's very important it is delivered within that 1 year, with one cycle.
Understandable. I will definitely do it at the next opportunity I have.
Excellent. Thank you for your business, and I will be here if you need me.
Thank you. Seriously, I was watching you work. That was very impressive. If for some reason I leave the ship, I might come work.
Don't do that. I don't need employees. I'm incredible. I work on my own.
I can tell that. It's not often I'm this impressed. I'll just say that.
Well,
thank you.
Then you should come here more often and be more impressed. But don't.
I might need to.
Perhaps.
And with that, Hal walks out the door and sees Gammon out there.
Gammon hasn't gone to sleep. It's been a few hours. You actually see Gammon is at first you almost don't see him, but then you hear as he rounds a corner, they are jogging and they're just kind of, it looks like kind of going laps. Hey, everything good? Hey, your arm looks great.
Hal just waves with his new arm.
Nice. Is it high five ready? Are we good for high fives?
Only one way to find out.
Fantastic. One of the little syringes pops out because you're not used to the force. Ah! I broke you.
Nope. Kind of. It's supposed to do that.
Okay.
And just carefully
oh, great.
Back in. So Gammon.
Yeah.
We the good doctor in there needs us to run a couple of errands for her. It's the only way I could get it as cheap as I could.
Okay.
This high quality arm for his.
Yeah, it's a good arm.
The first one, I think you'll like this. I wouldn't have agreed to do this if I didn't think it was something that you wouldn't enjoy.
Okay. I don't like errands.
I know you don't like errands. I don't like errands, but hear me out. There is a local gang called the Spikers, and they have been terrorizing the good doctor for quite some time. And see, I knew you'd.
Yeah.
I'm not even done, and I know you, and you're already. Gritty.
Yeah. Can we walk? Can we walk at the same time? Can we go?
Yes, absolutely.
Are we telling the captain, or is this hush hush?
We're gonna tell the captain that we just have to run some errands for the doctor, but we should be done today.
All right.
Inside his head, Hal is thinking the captain's gonna know about this by breakfast tomorrow, but whatever. So on their way out, Hal will give Gammon a top to bottom explanation of what the doctor wants.
All right.
And then once they leave, Hal is going to get on comms with the captain.
Okay.
And
now
just say, yeah, go ahead.
Captain, it has at this point been a couple of hours, but I would say by now, you didn't spend too much time there. You're back on the ship by now. So when you get the comm, you're there. And actually, this is probably this is actually before Talon, you started even investigating the Ditzy Himbo. So I'd say the gang's all here, so to speak, when this comm comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, so Hal is just gonna ping the captain and be like, hey, Captain.
Hey, your arm's okay?
You could say it's better than new.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I never thought I would be a fan of cybernetic prosthetics, but I am.
Excellent. I don't see you. Where are you exactly?
We literally just left the chop shop. Okay. Speaking of, it only cost me 1 cred.
Great. Because
I have to do an errand for the doctor.
Oh.
It's not going to take long.
Cool errand.
Gammon
shouts.
That worries me. I trust you when you say you have to help a medical professional, but when Gammon says that they're excited about it, that's when I start to worry.
Sorry.
So let's be honest, please.
And Hal is going to kind of push Gammon away a little bit and whisper into the comms. I sold it really well to Gammon. It's not what he thinks it is.
Okay. What do you have to do?
There's been a couple of people that have been antagonizing the doctor. We just need to go talk to them. That's it. Gammon, and again, Hal whispers into his comm. Gammon thinks we're gonna go beat them up. We're not.
You're not.
No, we're not.
Okay.
But
How
Gammon
long is
thinks
this
we
going
are.
to take? Because
Is the ship done?
well, no, but I also there's I don't know what is going on here when it comes to laws and like we had. You know what? No, it's fine. Take your time. Don't
okay,
get
Captain?
arrested. I'm fine. Don't get arrested. Stay away from the geode place.
Oh.
Stay away from
Hey.
all giant metal cops.
I thought that went without saying, but I will definitely do that, and I will make sure Gammon also does that.
Yes, especially Gammon. Gammon.
I really should have brought his leash.
Yeah. I wasn't aware that he was still being weaned on that, but okay. Just take, be careful when it, be efficient, be quick, but be safe. I trust
Absolutely,
you.
Captain.
That's what counts.
Okay.
I understand, Captain.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Okay, I hope so.
All right.
I cannot wait to show you this art.
You make your way over to the location in question.
Yes.
Let's do some quick groundwork. Can you give me assessment with, I'm gonna say, expertise in this case, to see what you can just spot out on the streets.
Okay, that is a flat roll for me. Okay, that's a 9.
9? Not bad, not bad. So with a 9, what I'll say is you have two choices. You can either learn this by asking around, which is going to make your presence known kind of to some people who may not like that you're asking that, or you can find it on your own. But if you do find it on your own, there will be no chance of like planning or like getting the drop. You'll be at the place by the time you discover it, and your presence will be known to the people who are there.
Okay, sorry. So my options are ask around and get noticed, or
Ask around and have your presence known about, but then you can like prep before you go in, or you can go find it by yourself, which means you won't know what you're walking into until you're there, but they will also not know you're coming.
let's go with the second option.
Okay. So you find. Tell you what. No, let's have some fun here. I'm enjoying giving you guys some hand on the wheel a little bit. You've been told that this shady gang hangs around alleys with lots of barrels in them, but their actual like hideout or sort of like area could be anywhere, and they could be anywhere when this happens. So where do you find them?
I imagine that we find them like a few blocks away from one of these like barrel locations, and it's not maybe like a great part of the city or station, I should say, but it's also it doesn't look like it would have the headquarters or, you know, an outpost, quote unquote, of a gang.
Sorry, switch to music. It's a little too actiony. We're not there yet. Okay.
No worries.
So what does it look like? Well, is this a, you don't need. I don't need all the detail. I can do some painting. Is this like a warehouse you find them in? Is it a shop of some kind? Like you catch them in a restaurant? Like rooftop?
Imagine that it's like a string of storefront like a string
Sure.
of like small storefronts. So it's like you've got the bodega on the corner,
Absolutely.
and then like maybe like a tattoo shop next to it, and then like a not a convenience store, but like I don't know, like a florist next to that, but their base is like above and behind them.
Sure. All right. So you find them, I think, and the reason you're scouting out their base, but I think you actually do find them then out on the street, kind of in this little area, which is why there's not really any time to prepare, and you're just sort of suddenly there. Like by the time you were like getting ready to like go in, you like are practically standing amongst them. You were too busy focusing on the place to see the people, and you do see the people. You recognize immediately like that this is like, oh, these are the cool kids, so to speak. There's about half a dozen of them. And they're sort of hanging around, and you actually hear the word Spike in their conversation, which tips you off. Mm-hmm. And it seems like they are addressing someone with that. They're talking. Someone's like, "What do you think, Spike?" And they are talking to a. Most of them are Lauren, with the exception of actually the one who asked that question, who is a. We're gonna say they are a human. Why not? So mostly Lauren's, one human.
That's
But the Lauren they asked is sort of just there with some sort of cigarette-like thing in his hand, and he's in the middle of saying, he's like, "Look, I think if things are getting shaken up already, there's no harm in. What do you want?" Turns and notices you.
Me?
No, the fly in your pocket. Yeah, what do you want?
I've got fly in my pocket. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Everyone goes, like just kind of like reacting to your joke, and
sorry, it's a new stand-up bit I'm trying out.
Spike takes a step towards you and goes, "Think you're a funny guy, huh?"
No, I don't actually. That's why I'm trying out bits. If I knew I was funny, I wouldn't be trying out bits, right? Like, and like Hal just kind of like looks at like presumably everybody else who's also looking my way because the boss is looking my way.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, come on.
You at this point, I don't need to roll yet, but you've definitely like you have their attention. By being like you are effectively like in their eyes, they're like, "Who's this asshole? Who's this idiot?" Gammon is keeping his distance. He's a professional. He doesn't have a hand on his gun yet, but you know how fast Gammon can get to his gun.
Oh yeah.
And so this guy goes, "Out with it, funny guy. What do you want? What are you doing here? You're in Spiker
Right,
turf,
you
bud."
got me. I'm aware, Spike. What I'm here for. A mutual friend of ours asked me to tell you to fuck off away from her and stop bothering her.
Can you roll
I'm so fucked.
with force? I think this is force, not influence. Like, this is a straight intimidation.
Okay, I mean, that definitely changes it to
And
one.
I'm going to give you disadvantage. You are two people facing down a gang of street thugs who have no idea who you are. So,
That's fair.
That's fair.
I haven't done a lot of disadvantage yet. We're going to disadvantage this boy.
Oh, that's a total of 4, buddy.
Terrific. So,
Which
yeah, that's phenomenal. You say that, and there is this silence that goes over these guys. And everybody except for Spike starts to laugh. Just kind of just laughing, kind of like the humans like doubled over, the various learns like slapping each other on the back. I think it's very funny. And Spike does not think this is funny.
And at this point, Hal, just to really ram the point home, would look around and just be like, "See, I was doing a bit."
Spike takes a step forward. He's only a couple inches taller than you, but he's looks down at you and kind of pushes his like faux leather jacket to the side and puts his hand on a very big looking hilt that has no blade attached, so a laser weapon of some kind.
Yeah.
And he just says, "If this is about the splicer, then you can fuck right off. Because, listen, I'm going to win her over one day. And it's going to happen whether she likes it or not. So, how about you back off, or I cut your fucking tongue out?
Hal, at this point, would just hands up, like, I'm not trying anything. Just very slowly hands up and just disconnects their neural mask and like puts it into their pocket and just and then drops their hands back down to their side. And
fucking Malleus.
At this point,
I'll find something else to cut off then.
When he says fucking Malleus, he just shrugs like, oh yeah, you got me there. It's at this point that well, no, he would then like put it. He would then like slowly like put his mask back on.
Everyone, by the way, you have. While they all thought it was very funny, you have clearly offended Spike, and everyone now has hands on weapons. They're not like itching to draw, but if it comes to a fight, it is going to be a hard. It's going to get violent very, very quickly. The situation is escalating.
And Hal would put the mask back on and just kind of like casually just like clasp his hands behind his back, like at the small, just casually like, I've got my hands behind my back.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm assuming that there are like people behind me too.
Not actually. You have it clear. If you were to just like run, you could get away easily enough.
Oh.
The only person behind you is Gammon, who is now closed distance and has their hand on their weapon because they don't understand what de-escalation means. And they see 6 people threatening you, so they just have now hand on just like on their shotgun.
And Hal would like very loudly just say like, acting like he's speaking to everybody present, but mostly speaking to like Gammon. Just being like, I understand I misspoke. I came on a little too strong for you for this. I understand that. I'm not trying to escalate this, and I'm not trying to make things worse. Okay?
No, it's not okay. You listen. You come into my turf. You come into my domain and think you can boss me around. You're gonna have to pay up. There's got to be a pun. People need to know that they can't just walk into Spiker turf and mess with fucking Spike. So I need a tribute, and I need a tribute now. Or else maybe
what kind of tribute are you?
I'll just gun you down in the street. No one can stop me. He goes, "You're a big fancy Malleus. You'll think of something, or I can take your mask. These things are worth a fortune."
And Hal kind of like visibly thinks about it. And just, you like, Spike can see the gears like turning in Hal's head for a minute. And he's like, masks are worth a lot. And this one, it's a bit of a custom job.
Yeah, you're a Malleus. All your masks are custom jobs. What do you want?
Well, no, a lot of the poorer regions do get like, I forget.
Hey, comedian, you like to talk? Give me a tribute, or I'll fucking kill you.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I don't carry a lot of these things with me, so I'm just trying to think what would be a good tribute. And he once again like puts his hands behind his back and kind of looks down like he's thinking. And at this point, he would like to flick out a scalpel from his handy medical kit.
Hey.
And he says, "Okay. Would you like a scalpel? It's the most valuable thing I have on me right now."
The fuck is a scalpel? All right, fantastic.
Right across the face.
Okay, I am going to do this. This a scalpel is not a good like weapon. You caught him at a very, very slight disadvantage. I will let you make a straight force roll, regardless, like no disadvantage. And then whatever happens with his gang is gonna be a different story. We'll see.
Oh yeah, yeah. And with the inconsequential of this, with his other hand, he is reaching for his little laser pistol. But
Sure, we'll get there.
That's
oh boy,
separate from this.
Spike's the squishy human, right?
No, Spike's a Lauren. But I mean, Lauren are just as squishy as humans, so whatever.
Holy shit! I don't know if you can see that, but
so
Yay!
You paint this for me, my guy. How much damage are you looking to cause with this?
Hal would be looking to blind him, basically. Even if only temporarily, but just like straight for the eye.
So you do that. He was sort of like looking down and squinting a little bit, and your scalpel takes both eyes out. He lets out a kind of screams as he staggers backwards and clutches his face. I think only one of the gang members like runs forward to like check on him, and the other 4 draw guns and start firing. Gammon also draws a gun and starts firing. He's not going to let that go untested. Like I said, with a success, you got what you wanted, no problem. And I will also let it tip the advantage back to a balance, because they had it before, and you sort of took it back now. So the next roll will not be the disadvantage like I thought it was going to be. You won that back. But you do now have 4 thugs who are opening fire, at least 2 of which are on you in the middle of the street. What are you doing? What as they're like opening, what do you do?
Hal probably would, knowing that Gammon is behind him with the trigger finger, Hal would have sliced and then immediately charged.
Okay, great.
Just to kind of give Gammon any sort of line of fire he needs, and then while on the ground, pull out his laser pistol at that point, and just quickly assess the situation and see what's going on.
Give me...
And at this point... Hal would like to break out his deduction skill.
Oh, good.
Because that's what I took with
now
Lovelock.
3 people in the party have deduction. This is great. Mysteries are going to be impossible to post to you guys.
Who or what is most vulnerable in this situation?
Gammon. You are quick and armored. Gammon is brash and defending you. There's 4 thugs. Gammon, if you are confident you can get out of the situation relatively unscathed. Gammon's about to get a face full of lasers. These aren't like high-grade weapons. He can take some hits, but it's gonna be nasty. Unless Gammon can get some like cover or protection.
Okay, so Hal drops down, pulls his laser pistol out, takes a quick scan, and then kind of like flops over to like face Gammon. It's like, Gammon, into the shop now.
Okay, go ahead and give me I'll make this an influence. I'll say as part of your force you got down safely, give me influence as guns start flying.
Okay, that is a 4.
Gammon is in a firefight and they're not going anywhere. You say Gammon into the shop now, and you are incredibly loud. And people start to turn and look as this firefight breaks out, and lasers start flying in all directions. And as you do, I think we, as the audience, I'm going to cut away from you in a second, and we're going to have to come back to this later. But as things are escalating, and you see like Gammon into the shop, and Gammon takes like a shot to the hip, and sort of is just continuing to has knocked one of these people off their feet with a shotgun and is continuing to just pick them off methodically until they start running away as best as they can. We, the audience, see as people are like running around, help, there's a firefight, help, help. And as we see Officer Barsk sprinting over to the scene. And we're going to cut away. All right. Meanwhile, in civiller places, Talon, you've just learned that there's a hardware issue. Somewhere in the ship, there's something messing with the wiring or the systems physically. What do you want to do?
Well, I guess the first place to look would be in their main computer system. I would like to take a look inside.
Okay. When you say inside, you're like opening up the back paneling, everything?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Rather than have you methodically work through this, let's do another. We're going to do another assessment, but this time it's going to be expertise. This is much more physical and hands-on.
All right. My bread and butter. No one gave me advantage again.
I've not gotten any more advantage for anyone.
Okay, that's fine.
It does cost a lot of channel points to get there.
Ooh, that's a 10.
A 10, fantastic. So it's not in. Hang on, wrong music. It is not in the computer. You check all the systems and you're like, you can see why no one found it because it's not easy. But you're a Calasti and you can get places that others can't. So you make your way through. You make your way through some of the vents and find some of the side panels, some of the interior workings of the place, and you figure out what's going on. Digging deep into this ship, you open up a panel and you see like a room it's the kind of room that is only ever opened like if the ship is like being restructured. It's like so close to the center, like maintenance of this never happens because all the wires here are very fragile. So if anything were to get in, it'd be very bad. So it's near the center, it's very protected. And the wires are flayed and chewed and torn asunder. And as you pull off the kind of last plate to get to the next area, you see what appears to be some sort of large cybernetic rat in this like place in the middle of like laser chewing a cable. It's little digital eyes flit over to you and it scurries off. This is this is definitely something local to this planet. You think, which is why it happened when they started to take off. Must have slipped in somehow. You don't know who built it or where it came from or exactly what it is. But there is a cyber rat here among the ship, which is now playing a little cat and mouse with you.
And I am a cat.
You certainly are.
I will chase that rat.
Okay. So you got a 12, which would give you a forward or an advantage on the next roll.
Well, it was a 10.
Sorry, a 10. A 10 plus is what I meant. You had a success. So on an assessment, a 10 plus gives you advantage on your next thing pertaining to that. And I see no reason for you to not have that when chasing a rat down. Go ahead and give me finesse with advantage as you chase the cyber rat. A much easier encounter than poor Halcyon had. I can't believe you took him on your own, dude.
It was with finesse?
Yeah.
That is 7? Yeah, 7.
7. Okay, so on a 7, we're going to get some extra complications. You managed to basically track this rat down, but it is unwilling to leave the sort of vent shafts. You were sort of wild goose chasing it, and when you do, yeah.
Can I try connecting with my built-in computer?
To the rat?
Yeah, it's cybernetic.
It's more. You would. I'm gonna say especially with a mixed success right now, where we're at. You would need to get closer, and you would need to like find a way to actually like slow this thing down. So you basically get this thing to a place where you have it cornered at like it would have to either leave the vent or face you, and it does not want to leave the vent. So you corner it finally, and it sort of turns about to face you, but now it's like. It's ready to throw hands, so to speak. And you see the little teeth, or the place where teeth would be, the kind of little opening in the mouth, sparks like a taser, and it bum rushes you. It's going to jump at you.
I will shoot.
Okay. What I was going to say is you could definitely, like, if you wanted to cat paw it to the ground, you could, but it's going to potentially zap you too. But if you're going to try to shoot it, give me another... this, for once, I am going to call this finesse. I know I usually call this force, but this is going to be another finesse roll for you.
Another 7.
Another 7. So the choice is up to you. You are welcome to. You can blast this thing, but at this close proximity, you don't know the tech. The detonation might hurt you, or you can kind of reroute, fall back, and try to take it on another way.
Okay. I will do the second one.
Okay. You take aim, but by the time you get a solid lock on it, you know that it's going to be too rough, and you quick bolt around, and now we have this little cyber rat chasing you through the ducts. Where are you leading this thing?
I may not have been able to pay attention, but while chasing it, was I able to notice anywhere that was like the biggest damage that it had done?
Yeah, the area, absolutely. That area with the kind of cluster of various wires and pipes, 100%.
Try to lead it back there.
Okay, you take it back there into the room. It's kind of the whole time it's shooting. The sparks are harmless towards like the inorganic material. Like when it's just kind of quick shotting them, it's meant for like prolonged exposure. It's like a blowtorch, like a soldering iron more than anything else. So it's pot shots that you were doing nothing, and you managed to get it back into that room. At this point in that kind of larger area, it is going to then take another kind of leap towards you, but you've managed to put some distance. You're faster than it is, so you can put some distance between you and it. What do you do?
When I get in there, I would like to do a cool ninja backflip to end up behind it, and then
as a Calasti, you literally up the wall over the top area and back behind it. Give me another finesse.
Ooh, much better. That's a 10.
Fantastic. You backflip over this thing and land. It turns and it's soldering, and this thing absolutely just powers down as you. It was a pretty simple device, and you have a laser gun, so it just goes down absolutely rocked. It's going to take a lot of work to repair this place, and that is maybe not work you are capable of doing on your own. But you can at least tell them what's up and get the problem fixed. Now that you,
I will carry the dead cyber rat out. In my
Fantastic. You drag the cyber rat out, and as you come out,
so you're not going to believe this.
Pockets looks and goes, well, I'll be. Oh my! Of course, I didn't even think of it. Could have been something that small inside the system. Oh, we gotta
leave it in someone's shoe.
And the captain goes, "Where would something like this have even come from?" And Pockets goes, "Oh, probably just some mechanic out there putting together scrap parts. We'll launch an investigation, but that should be all right. We should be able to take care of the repairs from here. Then, if you can guide us to where that all went down, I'm sure we can take care of the rest of it."
Of course, it was gnawing on the cables, and I tell him.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you very much for your help. I think very, very solid help. Between your helping me and your helping everything else, price, consider it paid. Your ship's all good. You're all good. If you need anything installed, if you're looking for any new systems or any new weapons or gear, you feel free to come back anytime. I'd be happy to help out with it.
I'll keep that in mind and tell the captain.
Wonderful. And the other captain goes, thank you. I didn't actually catch your name.
Talon.
Talon, it's a pleasure. I've never met a Calasti mechanic before, but you're good. So thank you. I'm thrilled to be able to get back in the air again. And he goes, well, not quite yet. We got to patch up the cable. It was, okay, I get it. It was symbolic. All right. And you can head back to the ship. So,
quick question.
Yeah.
Before I leave the ship.
Sure.
Is the system is too physically damaged, I'm assuming, to do most things. Is it possible for me to get the system turned on and it to not like just go immediately crazy now, or will that have to wait until
it's gonna have to wait till it's fixed. It's absolutely fucked.
Okay, no.
What did you have in mind?
I was going to hack into their system and use it to send a transmission.
You can. I'll tell you what. If you would like to give that a try, I'll let you do expertise, but with disadvantage.
I'm a risk.
All right. Secrets.
Expertise, but with disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Let's
want to see
drop the highest, right?
the transmission
Correct.
that says from the ditzy himbo.
Luckily, that is a 10.
Wow, with disadvantage.
With this, yeah,
Whoa.
because my +2, it would have not been. So
All right,
good.
I see you. Okay. Yeah, what transmission are you sending into who, or do you want to cover that off the air?
I'm going to send it to you right
Sounds
now.
good.
It is regarding what we talked to previously.
Fantastic. We'll cover. You can send it to me, and then you can head back to the ship. Phera and Ro, what have you guys, now that Barsk has left you guys alone on the ship, what are you guys up to while you're waiting for Talon to finish?
Well, I can't believe we pulled that off.
I apologize again for stunning.
Oh no, please, that was brilliant. I just can't believe it worked. I mean, maybe I can. Yeah. Good job. That was good work.
Merrick walks back in and goes, "Huh, so you two made nice?
I shot the captain.
Great. You look fine. You're fine, right, Cap?"
Yeah, I'm great. For once, I can safely say that you did not get nearly as much trouble as I expected.
Oh, interesting. I was privy to a drug deal. I was pretty much there when it went down.
Really?
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I had just beaten Dave the conductor at cards, so I got some. You want some? Not right now, but like in general. Geodust.
You got.
It's like a focus thing.
No.
Okay, well we have a sizable amount of it now.
What is a sizable amount?
He goes into his pack and pulls out what appears to be like a the size of like a cinder block, like a brick. So
what?
Of this stuff, you have no idea what like metric will. You have no idea what a small, like you don't know what a good amount is.
That is far too. If it does not belong in the med bay naturally, then it is far too many drugs for the ship. You hide. I don't even want to know it's here.
It's you know this is not illegal,
Captain,
right?
Yeah, Captain. I would point out that while I don't exactly. Not exactly proud of it. Pretty much every grad student has I mean, there used to be a cooler of them. They would mix it with energy drinks in the chem labs.
Okay. All right, don't encourage him. All I'm saying is that we tried to get away from the cop that was tracking that down.
Once we're off planet, this is harmless. I'll hide it till then. But no one else.
I will warn though, it is a diuretic. Just as a warning.
He goes, good to know. I don't know, like geodust is native to this planet, so this is like as pure as it gets. If you've had any Ro, then it was imported from here. This is actually.
Oh no! I meant the chemical compounds that account for basically most focus.
Oh, fair enough.
Focus medication.
Well, anyway, we've got some. We can sell it where it's legal, or we can not.
Stop waving it around. I don't care that
He puts it back in his bag.
Drugs. It's fine. Thank you. Just.
And at this point, Talon, you can be there as well, or be coming back now, and you guys get a comm from Gammon. Hey boss, everything's bad. We're pinned down in a bodega. Just letting you know.
Where? Can you send me coordinates?
And probably in the background. God damn it, God, no, it's not the time.
I can't think of a better one. Yeah, he sends you coordinates, and that's what we're gonna call it for today.
Poor Hal.
Yeah.
Hal done fucked up.
You guys couldn't all pass with flying colors tonight. We knew that. We knew that to be true.
I mean, I will. True, but Hal passed with flying colors the one time it really counted.
That's fair. That's fair. Yes. Okay, so I opened up the chat. I just wanted to see what people were. I want to read through the chat of this episode, if I'm being honest.
It's a good chat.
All right, so guys, thanks for coming in. Let's do a really quick. Let's do our experience, and then we'll wrap it up there. I actually have a few. Actually, let me do a few quick announcements first. There's little things I would like to chat about. Anyone watching, first off, huge thank you for coming back, or if you're here for the first time, thank you for coming. But we really appreciate having an audience. It's a lot of fun to have people kind of tagging along and being here for the adventure. Please, word of mouth is the best thing we can do. I think we're close to 90 followers now. We might even be at 90 followers by now. I would need to check. But we're coming up on that 100. So if you want to... 91. Nice. If you would like to tell your friends, get anyone out, spread the word. I'll try to be more diligent about putting these up every other Sunday, kind of getting new episodes up. But episodes 1 through 4 are up. This one will be up soon. And I will be posting the recap with it. So let them know, hey, it's a great time to jump on. But also, if you have feedback, feel free to send it my way. Hoping to start a Discord soon. I think that's about it. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you for the follow, Frozen. And let's do a quick advancement. Let's go through our tracks one more time. Dan?
So mine is a perilous order is obeyed.
I don't think, for once, I don't think so.
I don't think.
I think
so
we're
either.
okay.
The only way it could is if you consider the discount from the doctor a perilous order being
no,
obeyed,
an order would be that was a request. That's a different thing.
Yeah, that was a bit of a stretch.
Sean, yours is the investigation one, right?
Yeah, a subject is thoroughly analyzed. I didn't get any analysis done. I'm afraid.
Not.
I'm already behind on my homework. I'm gonna have
not today.
I'm gonna have to pick
You're
up.
gonna need some of those focus drugs.
Not today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
that said, we did explore a new culture, Ethan. Yes. A new culture was very much explored, so we can get an experience from that. And Captain.
For once, I actually shredded it.
What?
A bold act fails spectacularly.
That's anybody.
That's anybody.
Oh, anybody! A bold act fails that would be.
The thing is, I'm gonna give it to you, but I will say the bold act, the attack worked beautifully, but the aftermath, I would say, is spectacular enough of a failure to then.
I think I would argue just approaching.
That's fair. That's totally fair. So we'll do 2 experience for this run, and everyone, you guys rule.
So we should all be at 3, right? From 1 from the last time and 2 from this time.
Yes.
Yes.
Should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was
cool.
2 from the last time, but
2 from the last time. There was mine, which was thoroughly analyzed. Anybody
Well,
else?
but I think you also had 1 overhang from your last level up is the reason. So you should be up to 4 right now.
We should be at 4. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent session, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Got some action towards the end there. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. I'll figure out what the title for this episode is when the time comes. But for now, have a good night. Bye.
Come back next 2 weeks from now.
Do I have a thanks for watching? I do. Thanks for watching.